Beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep, beep.
And hi, everybody, and welcome back to the show today. Hopefully, you've all had a good weekend, and we are going to have some fun tonight, aren't we? Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the show. So, today we have two guests. So, first, what are you doing? Anyway,
I could hear you from 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, it's because I had my other window open as well. So,
I thought it was just my natural slowness.
Yeah, I'm coming to you in a minute. Don't worry. So today we got first guest, which is Chris Yankee Doodle. How are you?
Hi. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Good. And
Been a bit laid up with a bug, but we're getting there.
Corona. We don't want that. We don't want that.
No, I've had that one. Don't want it again.
Yeah, horrible. And we also got Calm Biker. Chris, how you doing? Chris? What did I say Chris for? Sorry, Richard.
I'm offended now.
Yes, I know. I'm terrible with names. You should know that. That's why I usually go by what I just read there and there.
Sorry, Derek.
That's no problem. So, how are you doing?
Yeah, not bad.
You had a good week?
I've ridden a bike that wasn't mine. That was quite fun.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later on, aren't we? So we got 8 million people watching. I hope you all come here with some questions for us, although I don't see anything in the chat at the moment.
Mine's only showing 3 million.
Yeah, that's because yours is a bit slow, a bit like you. So, do we have anything you want to talk about from... Oh, we got a comment. Moist, the first one in. So, good evening, lads. G'day, Dave, Chris, Richard, and very assorted nuts to make up the peanut gallery. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you, Guy. We're doing fantastic.
Quite fun. All good peanuts now.
Yeah, that's not good for you. Peanuts are bad for you.
Are they?
That's if you're allergic to them. Yeah.
Hi, Stitch.
Evening, Stitch. Evening, Dave, Chris, and Moist Richard.
Moist Richard?
Yeah, Richard is Moist. Yeah.
You've changed your name.
Yeah, it's my brain. I'm in work mode again today. I've been up since 5 o'clock because I'm now back at work for 4 days a week. So I am been up for a while at the moment. So not too bad. I got 4 days a week back at work and 1 day furloughed. So hopefully I'll get 80% of a day.
How can they furlough you for 1 day?
It's flexible furlough.
Shit.
We see what it is instead of the companies bringing everybody back right away when they might not have work, to get people into work, what they're doing is saying, okay, you can do 4 days, you can do 3 days, you can do 2 days, you can do all week, whatever. And they're trying to get people back to work. And when the boss phoned me up last week, he says, at the moment, you can only do Monday to Thursday, and you'll be off on Fridays. I said, yeah, that's no problem. At least I'm doing some work. So
Long weekend.
Yeah, long weekend.
So were you getting paid 80% of your salary for not working?
Yeah.
And now are you getting paid 80% of your salary for working?
Well, I should be getting 100% of my salary for the 4 days I work and 80% for the 1 day I'm not. Theoretically, I think that's how it works.
So that's a difference. It's not huge.
Yeah. There is.
I'm getting a lot of echo on it.
Not from me.
Are you getting it, Richard?
Yeah, I'm getting loads of echo.
Yeah, I'm getting Richard on echo and me on echo, but not you, Dave.
Ah.
What have you done?
I haven't done anything. You see, I've only got this window, and I got my microphone and my earbuds in. I'm not hearing anything else. Have either you guys got another window open?
I've got the window up not there, but I'll tell you what, I'll mute myself, and then you talk and see if it's still echoing.
So am I getting an echo now? Yes, I am. And you're still getting it as well.
That's strange because I can't hear an echo off either of you.
No, see, we're not getting an echo off you.
Do you want to try muting, Chris? Are we still getting the echo now? Still getting an echo? I'm not getting an echo anymore.
I think we know who it is now.
I'm not saying anything.
Oh dear. So I think it's Chris and his audio. That's probably what it's going to be at the moment. So we have had a late guest today. I reckon the warden has let him eventually come up. So how are you doing, Dingbat?
I'm fine, mate. Thanks. We live now, are we?
Yes, we're live because you came late.
Late to the party.
Yeah, never mind. At least you're here. So you had a good week?
Yeah. All right. Nothing going on again. Usual.
Yeah, being laid out for 1 hour a day. I know. So let's catch up with the chats before I lose everybody. So Big Bad Biker Baz says, evening, Dave, Carl, Chris, and I'm sure you'd have put Dingbat in there as well.
Yeah, that's
a bit late now.
If I was here,
echo stopped.
Yay! You changed your batteries.
I ain't done fuck all. I don't know what's. I want a brand new laptop with brand new everything.
Stitch says,
same here.
Why is Richard moist? Well, he did go out for a ride on a new bike, and it was a little moist while he was out there.
It rained quite a lot.
Yes, it was moisting down, wasn't it? Evening, Skeggy.
Yes, it has.
He says, hi, peeps. Can't make it in yet. Hope you're all well. Evening.
Hey, up, Skeggy.
First question. Why is the chat below now? Why is the chat below now when IKT?
I think that's
on the
right.
When it used to be on the right.
I don't know.
Well, it still is right.
It's on the right for us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Far right.
All right. Evening, BBBBs. It's okay, Dave. 4 out of 3 off. Sounds like you're on. Sounds like the way you wait
to do it.
I've got to get my glasses changed.
Just get a bigger screen.
Actually, well, this is 24-inch. It's actually one of the problems of not bothering to read and write when you're at school, and only learning after you came out. It takes me longer to read, and your house, you try and get it out in a proper manner, and I usually fail all the time.
Hey, we know what you mean. That's all right.
Yeah. Moy says, good day, Baz. Can't hear an echo from Chris or Richard. Yeah, no, there could be. So we know what it is now, luckily. Yes, Chris.
I don't know what I did to stop it.
Good day.
You muted yourself and unmuted.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Whether or not it was, maybe it was looping itself. I don't know.
Turned it off and on again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evening, SuseNet 555.
The big reboot.
Make screen smaller.
Just step further away.
Yeah. Evening Moist and evening Carl. We're catching up with the evenings. Thanks, SuseNet, and hi. Evening, old man Tony. Hey up. I'm glad I am retired. I worked in the food industry, so I'd have to be working through. I'm glad you're retired as well, because you wouldn't have time to do all your little projects like your Bluetooth radio that you haven't done yet. When he
made a knob.
When he saw mine, he says, "I'm going to have to try that," and that was a long time ago now. I think it's almost a year. Is it now? Something like that. G'day, Skeggy. Hope your dad's feeling well, mate. I hope so too. And Air Cool says, evening all. And we all caught up. And we just added 2 more. Evening Air Cool and evening Stitch. Right.
If we do get to that 8 million viewers, this could take a long time.
Well, we're up to 12 now. And the old highwayman's in. Good evening. Hi, guys. Hope you're all doing good.
Come on, highwayman, get on here.
He's usually Charlie and Charlie.
How many holes are you allowed on this? Is it 6 or 8? Or
we're allowed 6. I can have 10 on here, but I can only have 6 on the screen at any one time.
So 4 in the background, just mouthing off us about the 6 that are online.
Yeah, and I can switch and change whenever I want. And when you got 2 hosts like Weggy, when he comes on here, I can go off, and you can have 6 people on, and he hosts. That's fine. That's all good. Saves me having to read, doesn't it? Evening, Baz, and the Bluetooth project is on the list. Yay! So
good long list.
Is anybody going anywhere on the weekend?
In a word, no.
Yeah, but no, not with a bike.
That's a shame. I thought about a new project. I thought, can I get a robot to ride a motorbike? And then I realized, no, I can't, because somebody's already done it.
Yeah, Yamaha did it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Didn't Yamaha do it with the bike on its own as well?
Right.
I know BMW have.
Or was it BMW? Was it?
BMW
I know somebody's done it.
I think Honda have got one as well. I'm not really sure what the point is. I understand self-driving cars. I mean, I'm all for a self-driving car where you can, you've got 2 hours to go somewhere in the morning. You can have a kip in the back. But a self-riding bike it's like they've missed the point.
Yeah, you'd fall off, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd drop off.
You'd need some kind of rack, wouldn't you? A rack and some ratchet straps or something.
You'd be good as a pillion on there, though. Evening, Big. I'm glad you're here. This guy, he has a lot of bikes, and he'll go adventuring. He'll go riding all over the world. Well, he wants to go all over the world. But he's gone to quite a few places, and he also loves riding his old Honda C90 as well. I've met him 2-3 times. You've met him as well, Carm, on the Lincoln Ride. Was it? He was one of the ridettes we did. Yeah, the first place I met him was when I went down to what was it now? As I'm trying to do everything at once, Spicy 110's meet. Yeah, so we are having a Thursday night hangout on here, Big, and you're welcome to stay along and watch us having a few drinks and pretending to answer questions on bikes and any other matter.
It's just a laugh and talking bollocks, really.
Yeah, it is really.
Pretending we know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Stitch says no. Would you ride Pillion with a robot? I reckon it'd be a good idea. Because
I won't ride Pillion with anybody.
No, it'd be a good idea because you'll be able to blame it on everybody else, not yourself this time.
Yeah. Never in a million years. I've only ever ridden Pillion twice in my entire life, and it frightened the life out of me on both times.
Well, I was lucky because the first time I rode Pillion I was 11 or 12 on my dad's, and he used to take us on the back of a bike all the time, and so I feel safe on the back as well as on the front. But it's the same with driving as well. I feel safe being driven as well as driving, whereas my dad always had to drive. He just did not like not driving.
I think it's a control thing.
Yeah.
If somebody's driving me and they're driving sensible, I'm fine. If they're driving like I drive, then I'm not fine.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got control of the vehicle. And with the bike, I went on the back of a 250N Super Dream for about 1.5 miles, and the bloke was real sensible, didn't do anything stupid, just didn't like it.
You can't do anything stupid on the Super Dream, can you?
No. And then I went up to London on the back of a CX500, And again, the guy was really sensible and didn't do anything daft. It's just I haven't got those handlebars in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You can understand it.
It's okay for me to let go of the handlebars when I'm riding. I've still got control of the bike.
Yeah.
And I can't grab hold of them if I'm on the back.
Mm.
The riders don't like it very much, apparently.
Skeggy says Dad's just had his up a couple of hours ago, a couple of days recovering, and he should be back at home. That's real good news.
Yeah, that's good news, Skeggy.
Yeah, excellent.
Wish him all the best.
And Sitch says, not likely. 2012, I think it was. Yeah, I think that was his first Spicy 110's first meet, I think it was, yeah. Well, it was second meet, but it was the first one that I went to when we had 40 bikers. 40 of us there. Big says, would you ride Pillion with Calm Biker?
No.
Would any of us ride Pillion with Calm Biker?
I'd
It's
rather
camel
walk
biker.
30 miles home
Camel
than get on the back of somebody else.
Oh, yeah, Camel. It says Camel.
biker. Yeah, here we go.
Camel biker,
He's
yeah.
got
the
He's got the ump now.
Yeah, he's got the
obviously Mrs. C goes on the back of mine a bit, but she don't ride. So Tosh, I don't know if you've seen the video where I took Tosh to pick up his Africa Twin. It's on Tosh's channel, and it was a mixture of terror and amusement. Terror because we got to the first roundabout at the end of his road, and he'd binned his bike on it when the council had decided that the best way to deal with a diesel spill was just to throw sand on it. And I knew that the roundabout was clean, so I thought I'll have some fun, and I kind of threw it into the roundabout with him on the back, just as he was trying to start a vlog, which led to some words that I wouldn't use on one of my videos. And I think the funniest bit was when I said to him, "Are you all right to hold on okay?" And because there's no way to hold on. And he went, "No, I'm fine." So and then he clocked it and realised, and he says on his video, he's about to go for it, isn't he? So we give it a bit of beans in first and second. This is on the Z1000, not on the old Honda. And then I just rolled off, and just with the engine braking, he ended up sat on my shoulders, which was quite amusing. So it's well worth a watch on his channel. That one, it is quite a laugh. It's the one where he goes to pick up his Africa Twin. He was much happier when he got back on his Africa Twin. But he did say in it, you should, if you get the opportunity to go Pillion with a mate, you should, because it's hilarious.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I really would. If somebody said to me, "You've got a 30-mile walk home, or you can get on the back," I'd walk. I swear to God.
When I was recovering from my first collarbone breakage, I went to that was
just red stitches, but
yeah, all right, that was the motocross one. I was getting very stare crazy for not going on a bike, and Tosh turned up on the what do you call it? The what was the big Honda, the 1100?
The 1100.
Blackbird.
The Blackbird. So Tosh turned up on his Blackbird and took us for a ride on it, and that was just brilliant to be able to get back on a bike, because I thought, I'd been off a bike then for a couple of months, and I thought I'm not going to be on one for a while yet. And then the following day, I went to see the surgeon. He went, "Now you're fine. You can get back on one now." So the following day, I was back on my own bike. But yeah, that was great. But it is nerve-wracking not having any control over it at all.
Mm-hmm. Especially the faster it goes, the harder it is as well.
It was not too bad on that one because it had a top box, so you could, you had somewhere to lean back against. Didn't have to hold on. Him on the back of the Z with, there is nowhere to hold on. There's a little strap, but you sat on it. So I don't think I would want to go Pillion with me riding, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, but you have been Pillion,
Yeah.
because I remember
I've been Pillion, yeah.
Yeah, I remember you went on Mr. B's bike.
Yeah, on the Hayabusa, yeah. That was a laugh.
Whee!
Had to be done, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
actually,
I see the video of you riding that. I see the video of you riding Mr. B's. I think it was your missus on the back.
No, I'd never rode his. I was just Pillion on the back. I was I was Mr. B's missus for that.
Yeah,
Oh, right. You was the bitch.
yeah. That's right.
But yeah,
That was a fun day. That ride out. I enjoyed that.
that was the first ride out I'd organised, I think.
Yes.
And organised with a stretch.
Yeah, you just said, let's all go here.
Let's go somewhere.
Yeah.
Does anyone know where it is?
Yeah.
The bit that amazed me was the only person who got a speeding ticket through the whole day was the lad on the 125.
Yeah. Everybody else didn't. It was a shame, but
Yeah.
that's what happens. You know, you have to.
He
look
was the
out
only
for
one laying down on the tank. That's why.
Probably. Stitch says probably best not to get in a car with me driving then, Chris.
Yeah, I saw that a couple of minutes ago. I'll take your word for that, Stitch.
Mm-hmm.
Love
good
you,
evening,
really.
evening, JB. Glad you made it. Good news, Skeggy. All the best, speedy recovery. Evening, JB. Evening, Gordon. Going to go away this weekend, but not sure what bike to take. It might be the little PC50. Yeah, that's he's doing up a lot of his old small bikes as well. He loves the old small bikes. I mean, he's got.
As long
Sorry,
they're fine as long as you don't want to get anywhere too quickly, though, aren't they?
oh, he doesn't mind. Yeah, he just rebuilt his Honda C9. I think it was his C90, and he just went off on a day out somewhere, and I think it was 3 tanks there, 3 tanks full back, and he loves it.
I've never ridden one.
It's
of
their
them.
own.
Yeah, he loves the small bikes as well as the big bikes.
It's the most popular bike ever made, and I've never ridden one.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even
Yeah,
think
we
I've
used to
been
call
sat
them
on
granddad bikes.
Yeah,
I've seen one.
I remember when I was probably 17 or so, and some of my friends were less, how can I put this, less respectful for the law than myself,
Yeah.
and nicking the C90s and stuff like that, and go down the woods on them. And they'd take off all the fair ends and the exhaust. Without an exhaust, they sound like Rolf Harris's wobble board. You'd never heard anything so funny in your life. Anyway, they were all riding them, and I never got on one. And that's all they used to do was ride round and round the woods. And I thought, no, I'm not having this. I need a bike for myself. So I turn up on a 250 motocross bike to play with them.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the nearest I ever got. And we used to get the police coming down there to chase us. They'd come down there on the old BMWs in the woods. And in the dry, wasn't too bad. But in the wet, used to get a bit dicey. And then they started turning up on XT500s.
Mm-hmm.
That was good fun. Trying to lose them then. Had a good laugh.
Yeah.
And I still live next to the woods now. We don't hear many bikes down there.
Well, I don't think Carl made it out there because he's still behind bars.
He is. He looks like he's on a delay again.
Yeah.
You still there, Carl? Hello?
Is there a delay?
Yeah, there's a little delay.
Yeah, I think you've got your own 2-minute
bike
delay.
to hot wire.
Oh my god! Again.
Oh, don't worry. Just stay there.
Back in a
I don't
minute.
even think they bothered to hotwire it. I think it was just literally a screwdriver straight in the lock type of thing. I didn't get involved in that.
Of course not. I didn't either. I was a very, very good boy when I was out and about.
I think the only dodgy thing we used to do was on a motocross weekend, we'd go out with a petrol can and a hose pipe, get the fuel for the weekend. But that was normally builders' vans.
The worst I've ever done is 31 in a 30 and 41 in a 40, 71 on the motorway, you know.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Me too. And anything you've seen on a video is just an error in the speedo.
Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
I've had a lot of videos with speedo errors on them.
Mm-hmm.
I've removed most of them now.
I always put the speedo in kilometres.
Which is good.
Yeah.
And then drive very sedately.
What I do if ever I'm doing 71, if you look at a video and I'm doing 71, you'll suddenly see zoom forward like that. So you don't see the speedo anymore. And then when I get back down to 70, it comes back.
You mean when you get back up to 70? Because obviously you've only been doing 60 all the way, and you're just embarrassed, honest officer.
I'm only doing 70 on the motorway. Yeah, 71 is if I've got to overtake a car or I've got a tailwind. So, do you want to tell us about your motorbike? What's the word I'm looking for? Ride that you did the other day, Calm.
I fear I've just had a quick scan just to see if I had any comments yet, and it's got a lot. The video, so I fear I may be
in the shit.
At risk of being in the shit. It's a weird one. I test rode a VFR 800, and my idea was that if it was going to blow my socks off, which you probably gather it didn't, that it could be a replacement for the Z, because I want something that I can chuck my cameras in. I've got, at the minute, a big, heavy backpack. I don't know if my cable will reach. Hang on. So that's my camera, and I don't like having that on my back while I'm riding. Apart from anything, it's
have you got a part-time job for the BBC?
No, not yet. But if there are any offers on the table, then basically there's a heck of a lot of glass in there. In lenses and whatnot that I'm about to drop and smash, which would be a very bad plan.
It looks very heavy, actually.
It is very heavy. It went heavier when I got a couple of new lenses that have a lot of glass in them, it turns out. But it's something that I can put the cameras in. I was thinking of maybe getting a drone as well, but something I can chuck that into and go places and do a bit of photography. At the minute, I'll often go out with Tosh because he's got a big top box and he is part truck driver, part biker, part professional photographer now because he's doing his own photography business. And we'll head off, and my bag will go in the back of his bike because there's no way to put it on mine. But I'd like the ability to go distance with it and have that in because I've got 2 metal collarbones. It hurts to have that bag on for any time just walking around. So I thought it could be a replacement for this. Well, exactly. So the VFR 800 is in theory a sports tourer. I thought could be good. Could put the cameras in it. Could go on a trip. Could be a replacement for the Z, or it could be a second bike. Maybe get one a little bit older, and as it is a second bike. So I took it out for a ride on Tuesday, and there's I think I just mentioned it in the video, but I can do it now with finger gestures. There's a scale, and at this end, the sports. So, I don't know, Fireblade if we're talking Hondas, I guess. And at this end, there's Tourer, which I guess you'd be, what would you be looking at? That bloody great thing they have, the Goldwing. And somewhere along that line in between, you've got this end, Tourer, Comfort, mile munching, and at this end, sports, painful, fast, exciting. And you expect it to be on that line, and it managed to be at both ends of the line by being both painful to ride, as in it battered the hell out of my spine and made my legs hurt with its riding position, and yet slow and boring. And I think that might be why I'm getting a lot of comments on the video, is that it didn't. Now, I think I might need to go and ride one again because it felt like a 600 and it's an 800.
You might have had a bogey one.
I might have it might have been on a crap one. So I think I might need to go and find another one to ride and give it another try and give it the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, it battered the hell out of me. It was in terms of comfort, it was worse than the Z1000, which is not a comfortable bike, but it had nothing about it that was exciting. It felt like riding, when you get your first bike after passing your test, and nowadays that's like a 500 or 600. It felt like a slow 600. I don't mean like a ZX6R or something. it felt like it felt like it wasn't as powerful as the XJ6 I started on, and it also felt like it ran out of grunt. And there's this whole thing about it having the VTEC system, isn't there, where it's supposed to get quicker at a certain point, and yet it kind of didn't. So I took it to the 7,000 revs bit to get past the Euro regulations, and then took it off camera. I took it up to the red line, and at no point did it get exciting. And I don't think I've ever had a bike that if you took it to the red line, at no point did it open up and get exciting.
Need to
Well,
try
maybe the CB500X. But the CB500X was comfortable and chuckable and great, even though it wasn't fast, it was great fun. Whereas this one just felt kind of broken. I quite like the problem is I don't want to, if you were to come off and land.
Shoulders. Yeah.
Well, I don't want straps on my shoulders because that hurts, because they tend to land on the pins. But if you were to come over and land on something like, let's have a look.
It's going to put a big dent in your back.
Yeah, if you're going to land on that, that's a big old chunk of. I mean, it's metal and glass, so you don't want to land on that, do you?
No.
And I would tap it against something to show you how solid it was, but I'm not going to do that because that would also be stupid. But yeah, it's there's a lot of things in there that I think if you landed on them, it'd be 50-50 whether it was the lens that broke or you.
Yeah.
You'd rather the lens.
I would rather it was the lens, but they are pricey.
They are.
Yeah. People are really down on this at the moment, and I tell you what, it's horrible.
What?
but it's really cheap.
What is it?
Corona.
Oh, Corona. Yeah.
But it really is cheap.
It.
Apparently, you can catch a virus off it or something.
I've landed on my back with the gear and nothing broke, but I put everything in a flat case. Mm-hmm. But he's young, and I don't think he's got any broken collarbones with metal bits in them.
When you're young, you bend, don't you?
Yeah. When you're old, and
indeed.
you in particular, you thought, I wonder if I can go over this little bump on a motorbike off road and fly. Bang! No, I can't.
It's the point when you realise the ground is going down, but you're still going up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have a little scar there from a little operation when I was really, really young. So it's almost like join the dots, because I can go from there right across.
as long as it's not cut where the dotted line is, you'd be fine.
Yeah. Well, I've got a plate there. I've got 2 plates in there. I said to Mrs. C, I said, if I do that one as well, then I get to be fully balanced again. But she said no.
He said, "No, I got broken bones and shoulder problems."
Yeah, it's not fun, is it?
No, you don't, especially when you get older and things. I mean, at the moment, my problem is I can feel when I'm moving my shoulders more, I can feel crunching. I can hear crunching, but I don't feel no pain because of the drugs that I take. It don't give me no pain. And I'm thinking, is he supposed to be going clink, 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 clink as I go around?
Yeah, man do sound like a bag of marbles.
Yeah. My neck's even worse. It squelches.
Nice.
Yeah. That's when I'm trying to move it from side to side, which doesn't go. So, Chris, have you ever ridden any motorbike on test that you didn't like?
Yeah, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say it. It wasn't on test from a shop. It was on test from a friend. Mm-hmm. And I rode the bike then, and I hated it. If I could get hold of one now, I'd give my right arm for it.
Yeah.
It was a motocross bike. It was a Honda CR500. And at the time when they were like in the mid to late 80s, they were the thing to have. And I was on a 500 Suzuki at the time. Mm-hmm. And I rode it, and I didn't like it, didn't rate it. And no, I'll never have one. And now I'd give both arms to have one actually.
I'm sure JB would give one of his legs. But yeah, it's one of those strange things, isn't it? You think, nah, don't like it, don't want it, and then you think, wow, I wish I had that. Carl,
I've only ever taken one bike out from a dealership on a test ride, and that was my ZZR. And the guy said to me, "Are you sure you want to take it out in the wet as a first ride?" I said, "Yes." Fell in love with it and bought it.
Well, if you're going to use it every day, I suppose the best time to take it out is in the wet, so you know where it's going to feel. Carl, have you driven anything that you wish you never did?
No, never actually had a test ride on anything.
That's not
Just
good.
just bought them off spec.
That's pretty good if you can just get what you need and not have any problems.
I've not said I've not had any problems.
Ah. so okay. Then,
some bikes I have bought, I thought, what do I buy this heap of shit?
I was going to say, any bikes you bought that you wish you'd never had?
Yeah. Several.
They
Did you
were.
have a lot of problems with a Harley?
Me? No, I've never had a Harley.
You've not?
No.
What am I thinking of?
Hoyasung. Maybe.
I'm trying to think of. This would have been 4 or 5 years ago with Colin and Christ, what's the other guy? It comes to me in a minute. Back in the days of the Idiot Collective. I'm trying to think of what it was. And then I remember you saying that you were going through a lot of problems with it. I've got it in my head for some reason. It was a Harley, but obviously not.
No, it's a Hoyasung.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a sort of, it looks a bit like a sort of V-rod.
Yeah. So for me, anything Chinese, I never buy it. The only thing that's Chinese is worth having is
not Chinese. It's not Chinese. Korean, mate.
Is it Korean?
Yeah, it's Korean, and they the company that make bikes. They make the SV650 engine. They actually designed and made it. Yeah.
All right.
Basically, they're made in Korea, shipped over to where do they make the SV? It's not in Japan anymore. The engine's made in one part of Asia, in Korea. They ship it to another part of Asia, put the bike together, and then it gets shipped all over the world then. But the engine, the gearbox, and I think Hoyasung makes some other bits for it as well.
Is that another one of these ones that goes to Thailand and has a bit done over there as well?
Yeah, I think it's Thailand, probably. They actually built. So the engines are good. Yeah. It's the electronics I've had the problems with.
Yeah.
They don't like getting wet. They don't like getting wet.
So, but no, the good thing is you can buy this Korean bike, get the Italian electronic problems, and it doesn't cost half as much.
Yeah. Very true. Test rode a VFR 800, did not like it at all, got a CBR 600 RR instead.
Stan was the other guy I was thinking of.
See,
Stan.
Told you.
Yeah.
Stan, I know who you mean.
Yeah.
Doesn't everybody have problems with a Harley?
Pretty much, from what I've seen.
I think Harley Davidson has problems with Harley.
Yeah.
They are at the minute, aren't they?
Yesterday's technologies, tomorrow's prices.
Yeah.
That's very accurate, actually.
Slightly
and last
more
century
futuristic than
spanners.
that. Yeah, last century spanners, definitely. 5/8, 3/16, 5/16. You know, why? Get into the modern age.
Oh, they have done. They're starting replacing some of the nuts and bolts with Torx.
Oh, that's going to annoy some of the
Everyone, isn't it?
Traditionals. Yeah.
Torx are a special type of hex, aren't they? Where
Mm.
it's like an Allen key.
No, like a star
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It's like a special Allen key that chews up both the tool and the bolt at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a trick
You
to
can't
use it.
overtalk them.
You have to use the absolute tightest fit one you can get.
Mm.
So the slightest bit of movement, then they just
and
spin
they'll
out.
rip 'em, Yeah.
Yeah.
They are
The
good
only-
for leg muscles when you have to push them, apparently.
The only
don't do
the
your
only
back any
torque
good,
that
though.
the only Torx bolt I've got is on the car to take the brake discs off. Just the one little bolt, and I've proved to myself that the Aldi Torx set not quite so good. It's less of a Torx bit now and more of a worm gear.
I would have said it was less of a Torx bit and more of Play-Doh to start off with, anyway.
Actually, the hex bits, the hex, they're like T-bar things, came out quite well. They do a good little job then. But yeah,
Steve says,
the Torx one, no.
Get off.
That's violence.
I know. Help.
How
I'm being
often do the
repressed.
wardens come in and do that to you, Carl?
it's
Hey.
the warden. The warden's coming.
Warden. Hey,
Go on, give him a slap.
give her a slap.
I think you'll get your ears boxed.
Oh dear. Stitch says it's just to make sure you take them back to the deal for maintenance. That's very true. And they cost an arm and a leg not only to buy it in the first place, but to get them serviced. Ridiculous they are. And of course, if you want to change the oil, you can't just undo the drain plug and change the oil. You got your primary drive oil, your secondary, your
There's
engine oil.
three lots of oil in there.
Yeah.
They're all different. Marvelous.
Prison warden alert.
I noticed she didn't bring you any food then, Carl.
No,
Didn't even bring you another beer.
It's
I've
out of
got-
time
I've
for food. Look at it. It's 9:45. It's almost locking up time.
Yeah,
I've
bang up.
got my bag with beers in down here. Bought them up already. Not stupid, see.
More of that's a potato peel hooch.
What's it called? Bavaria Holland. There we go. Bavaria Holland premium beer, and that's a lie.
And Calm's on the Corona.
Yeah, that says some words on it.
Yeah.
La cervix mas finas or something. Well, that's
Yeah, probably is.
Yeah.
cervix juice. I don't know what. Does
No.
that...
I think if you translate, it says maintain 2 meters.
Hang on. This could go badly. People are getting really ill from this, aren't they?
Yes, apparently.
I mean, to be fair, it looks like it could be. It doesn't look like
It
beer.
looks
or
like he's been drunk once.
I was going to say, pretty drunk, isn't it?
It's recycled. Here you go, mate. You're doing your bit for your environment.
All I can say is it is certainly not. It's not a hobgoblin, is it?
Nah.
No, that's not having every goblin.
That's
not a
nothing to do with
Tetler.
Harry Potter.
Ugh.
So, any plans for any kind of questions coming from the Q&A in the chat today? Because it is supposed to be a Q&A like every week, and I don't want any. Do you like motorbikes?
Yeah, I've got something that might start the ball rolling.
Go on, then.
During the week, I was on Facebook and on the Tiger 1050 forum that I'm part of, and I put a post up there because so many people have been asking what size socket or what size spanner do I need for this, that, and the other. And some muppet put on there, what size spanner or socket do I need for the top nut on the top yoke? And I'm thinking to myself, why? Why on earth would you need to ask that question? You have got spanners and sockets to hand. It's easily accessible. If you haven't got one that fits, if it's a 36 mil or 38 mil, because there are arguments over what size it is, and I haven't got mine here to measure it. If it's a 36 and your 38 mil spanner's too big, you know to go down one. If it's a 38 and you've got a 36 mil, you know to go up one. And if you haven't got the one at all, you get a tape measure out and measure it.
Yeah.
So I put a comment on there, and this is where it got stupid. I put a comment on there saying, if you've got to ask that question, surely the question you should be asking is, am I safe to do the job? Because if you don't know how to put a socket on or how to measure the nut, then you shouldn't be fiddling with your steering.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that put comments on there about, but they're learning. Why would you want to learn with your brakes or your steering? You start off with something simple, like I'll put different mirrors on, or do something simple.
Yeah.
Or go and watch somebody else. Why would you want to start with your brakes or your steering and end up dead because you ain't got a clue what you're doing?
Yeah, there is that. But
to me, that just was like mad.
But
Absolutely mad.
If you go up one, if you go and you are competent at doing these things, and you don't know whether the spanner you need is either going to be an metric or imperial because you've got a new Harley, they have brought these new spanners out, which is this one's metric,
is that
and
plastic?
that one is imperial. So you got for metric and imperial nuts.
Absolutely, it's brilliant. It's an inspired idea, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very much so.
One of these days, I'm going to print one of these.
Someone's
actually
searching
works.
for that, Somebody is searching for that. Oh, a metric and imperial adjustable spanner. How do you know which end to use? Is it marked?
They're
Yes,
color
it is.
coded.
It's actually marked. That says imperial there and metric there.
Yeah, but what version of imperial is it? There's more than one version of imperial, though, isn't there?
Oh, this does
Yeah, we're
all,
not doing
all
ASE
imperial.
and Whitworth.
Yeah, that does them all. It's really good. This.
I don't see the issue anyway. If it's a 36 or a 38, just use a 36.
Yeah.
If it doesn't fit, use a bigger hammer.
There's an old black country saying, if it doesn't fit, you're not hitting it hard enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, you just get
should
right
run these high
make
quality
your
tools,
36
don't
into
you?
a 38.
Yep.
Stitch says, Chris, that involves using common sense. Sadly, it is not a flower that grows in everyone's garden.
No, I think that's very
What
true.
a nice way of
That
putting
is
it.
very true.
Yeah.
I was looking at it from the point of view, if you haven't got the common sense to be able to work out what spanner or socket goes on there, then you haven't got the common sense to see that the work you've done is sufficient or safe when you've finished. At which point you're then going to get on your bike and ride it and not know whether you've done a good job or whether you've made a right pig's ear of it. And the first time you accelerate, your handlebars are going to come off in your hand or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
That'd be bad, wouldn't it?
Well, it wouldn't be ideal.
Yeah. Well, you still got the throttle and still got the brakes and stuff, so you're all right.
But if they come off,
stay with your body.
you're not going to have the lean. You're not going to have that leverage to really get more power in, are you?
You won't get that wheelie
Yeah.
factor.
No,
Yeah,
I suppose you're right there. Like,
It's going to take all the fun out of it. That. What are you going so slow for? Came off.
surplus to requirements.
No, you definitely don't, Stitch.
I remember seeing on the dreaded Facebook the other day. I'm sure I won't be able to find it because it was in one of the feeds. The police had confiscated a guy's scooter because it wasn't fit for the road, shall we say? And he showed you the guy just held the handlebar and did this, and the handlebar went like this. And the front wheel went like this. So he's doing this, the front wheel's doing this. And you're thinking, that is not connecting to that front wheel in any way, shape, or form. How on earth is he riding it?
He's also doing this.
Yeah, big time.
Oh, dear, that was very dodgy seeing that thing. I'm sure I won't be able to find it. I'm not even gonna bother to look. But yeah, there's some dodgy things that I've seen people do out there. I mean, I remember walking through Birmingham the one day, and the particular area I was going to, you walk past a load of bikes that's parked up for whatever they're doing, and the one guy's chain went like that. I'm sure if I lifted it, it would have gone above the top chain. It was that slack, and I thought, dude, you've got to learn to do something with your chain. I learned that the hard way. When I first had my bike, I didn't know anything about maintenance or anything like that because I just bought a bike and was going to use it. And after a while, I was getting. I'd start up and it would take a moment to lurch to go forward, which is now I know it's the slack in the chain taking up. But I went round a corner, and it's a 90 degrees, so I'm leaning the bike, and the chain comes off the cog and stops the back wheel. Now I'm only doing like 5 miles an hour, so I don't fall off. That happened twice, and I was going, "What is this happening? What's wrong with it?" And I just lift the chain back on the cog, and I go, "What's wrong with this? Why is it coming off?"
Was it? You needed a derailleur on it. That was the problem.
Yeah, I then decided to get a Haynes manual for this bike, and I went, "Oh, you're supposed to adjust it."
You know what Stitch was saying about flowers
25
growing
mil, I
in the
went with
garden?
inches.
Yeah, but at the time, you see, my dad had a bike, and he used to ride it, and I never used to watch him because I'd be at school or I'd be in bed because he used to do his maintenance at work, like I did nowadays. And it was only after this came off twice, and I thought, if this happens when I'm going any quicker, I'm going to be in trouble. That's why I got the Haynes manual. And then I found that you're supposed to do lots of these maintenance things, like oiling your cables, changing the oil, looking after your brake pads, that kind of thing.
That's cars, isn't it? Cars have become so easy that people then get a bike and they don't realise that. I mean, not in your case, I'm sure, but you see a lot of people who go from a car to a bike as like me, as a fun thing for the weekend instead of a fun car.
Yeah.
And don't have any inkling to even look into this kind of stuff. Now, I remember one chap was on a ride, and it was one that Kev had organised, and there was this guy, and he was explaining that he'd had this problem. Now he had a KTM, a sports bike. I can't remember which one it was, but it was a rather large sports bike KTM, and he was saying about how he'd done the rear sprocket, and the rear sprocket was held on with like bolts that went flush with the sprocket. And and one of them had managed to wind its way out a bit, and I assume he'd heard it, but he hadn't realised for quite some time, and it gradually just ground a groove into his swing arm just by going round and round and round, and then the bolt had just chewed this groove through until the swing arm failed. And you think there are maybe there needs to be some kind of test you should take before you ride a bike. I don't know.
Yeah,
it just
or maybe just instruction,
test.
like, no, you got to do this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Oh, you found it.
That's what's wrong with that?
Front wheel. Look, if you look at the L plate,
That's
the front wheel
fly-by-wire.
down here.
That's fly-by-wire steering.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
No. That's the cushioning, so that the vibration doesn't go through.
Yeah,
It's not a problem.
I don't see the issue there. Hang on. I see I get it. If you look at that right mirror when it comes into shot, it's definitely adjusted badly. There, look.
Yeah, you're
See
right.
it?
Yeah.
Look, when he moves it to the
Far
left,
too low.
it's too low at the right and it's too high at the left. So it's a mirror adjustment problem.
Yeah.
What he should have done is taken them off. Then it'd have been fine.
Yeah. Nobody would notice. And
Chain adjustment seats. hasn't got the Bluetooth turned on. Yeah, that's a possibility. That's probably why the police took the bike. He hasn't got the Bluetooth turned on. But you never know. He might not have a Bluetooth headpiece in his helmet. Might not be wearing a helmet, and that's why they pulled him over in the first place.
I did see one the other week that I passed. I think I shocked him when I went past, but he was just, I don't know if he was texting or Facebook, but one of the two. It's something you see quite often on bicycles, but quite impressive on a scooter.
Yeah. Very idiotic.
Mm.
It's those
Happens
type
a
of,
lot.
Yeah, it's those type of people that will either never migrate to bigger bikes because they don't last that long.
Migrate to the grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they are the type of person that will have one accident and realize what they're doing. One or the other. Back in the 70s, next door neighbor had a
Fizzy.
Yeah, the front drum brake started squeaking, so he went 3-in-1 oil on it.
Yeah.
Well, that's just crazy. It clearly should be lithium grease.
Yeah. Or,
It stopped the squeak.
No, I reckon. No, it's got to be copper slip.
Yeah, copper
The
slip.
lithium
Because,
grease can catch fire when it actually gets too hot. So copper slip doesn't; it just melts.
yeah,
That's a very, very good point, actually, because copper slip is for high temperature areas,
right.
like brake.
Applications. Yeah.
yeah.
We had a guy when I was at college, and he had the what was the baby X7? Was it the X1? The X5 was the 200, wasn't it? And what was the 50? Was it the X1? Little tiny thing. Anyway, he had one of them, and he had rusty disc on the front. So we told him to clean it up with some WD-40, and he did. Don't know if he ever rode it to work again because we didn't see him after that.
Maybe he also next day went into the back of a milk float.
A special milk float with them blue flashing lights on.
Yeah. Just to put a little disclaimer, we are kidding. Don't ever put anything lubricant on your brakes or brake pads on the side that hits the disc, the rotors. No. We are
Used
kidding.
engine oil's fine because that's lost all of its slipperiness.
Yeah. If you have a crash, it's calmbiker@youtube.com.
Yep, that doesn't work as an address, so that's fine.
You have to re-grease drum brakes, by the way, but don't do it. You have to do it in the right, so you could make a very bad mistake at the jump. Yes, you do. That is correct. You do. There's certain places, certain parts you have to put the grease.
Yeah, put it on a cam and a pivot.
Cam
pivot
and
and
full
pivot.
can.
Yeah,
Do you use
but
the full can or just half?
No. Well, you get a grease gun, you go. And
You've been watching Del Boy's Garage, haven't you?
yeah, he's good. He is.
You can get the grease anywhere on the inside, but any shiny metal, or it's supposed to be shiny metal, or fibrous,
black
gritty
bits.
stuff on the outer drum edges, don't put anything on there. Because
The discs ACF 50 stops them from rusting, doesn't it?
yes,
I've seen this. I've seen so many people now who've done an experiment and they put 8 or 10 different chemicals around a brake disc to show you how different ones rust and different ones don't. And they all say ACF 50, and that brake disc didn't rust a bit.
yeah. And was the brake disc off or on the bike?
Well, it was off at the time, but I assume that the logic stands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dear me.
The only thing that gets sprayed on my discs is brake cleaner.
Stitch has come up with an actual question. The question is, why not?
Absolutely. Why not?
That's how I live my life.
Yeah, I agree. Why not?
Yeah, I reckon.
What are we talking about anyway?
Well,
I think
that's-
if we'd have read that out quicker, we might have had context.
Yeah, I think that's why not putting the grease or anything on your discs. Or she's doing a bit of white hole spewing time.
No. We can't be going down that road.
So what is it?
I got well lost.
So what is it?
Oh, a magic door. I will happily test your red dwarf knowledge, Dave.
You should have been on a few weeks ago.
No, that
Smeggy
was
should.
that
Yeah.
went too far. I just lost total track of where we were and everything. I never watched Red Dwarf, so it was like you were speaking like Swahili to me.
Yeah. Is there a delay? Yes, Dave.
Play.
For friendship's sake, she says.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, for friendship's sake.
Ah,
Did you think it meant something else?
yeah.
Well, it's not fluoride.
Fast forwards.
Oh, fast forwards. Ah, yeah, could be fast forwards.
Well, it's FWD, isn't it?
So what is it?
FFWD.
No, that's four-wheel drive.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no.
How can you get
But
four-wheel drive on a
my-
six-wheeler?
So why hasn't my DVD player got 4-wheel drive on it then?
Because he came off the back of a lorry.
Yeah.
That's why you're inside.
Okay.
Sometimes the old brain matter still works quickly. Done that one. Who knows Stitch? So what is it? It's a white hole spewing time. So has anybody seen my piston? I got a green piston now. You haven't seen that yet, have you, Carl?
You can get ointment for that.
Yeah. It works and everything. Yeah?
You know, I never thought the internet would be a place where you could show your piston and waggle the end.
I can even spin the top, look. These little
Oh, is it
rings.
pencil sharpener?
It's
I
a
have rings on
skill.
the top. Yeah, I have
It's a
rings on the top and everything, look.
Are you building an entire engine out of plastic?
Eventually, yes. But just in case I have any problems, I've also got my little four jaw chuck.
So when you printed the piston, did it print the rings at the same time?
No, separately.
Have you got one of them there, kind of modern, newfangled 3D printers?
Yes, I have.
I thought you were a welder.
I am. I am welding pieces of plastic together.
I would have thought you would be offended by the entire concept of plastic.
I have this little problem, which is although I'm a
We should
welder,
probably talk about that offline.
yeah, although I'm a welder, I tend to embrace modern technologies. And not only did I get a 3D printer, I built it myself.
Did you weld it together?
No, it's all plastic. But this little thing here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces.
I kind of like the idea of a 3D printer,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure of anything I could actually produce for it of any value
Or use?
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yes, I know what you're saying, but I've already had uses for it. I lost a swing arm cap for my bike.
Don't make a new swing arm for your bike with a 3D printer.
No, I didn't. I lost the cap. I lost the swing arm cap. And I 3D printed a new swing arm cap to put over the end so it keeps it all good again.
Right.
Oh,
Just to kind of meld your hobbies and work together.
Yes.
Are you aware that you can get metal 3D printers that basically just weld
Yes.
a 3D item?
Are you aware that you can also get wood 3D printing?
I'm glad you finished that sentence. I mean, we are on the internet. Yes, I am aware.
Did you notice the pregnant pause after I said wood? Question.
Just as grey in
So
the
you made a pregnant pause with your wood.
Yes.
A pause pregnant with your wood. Okay.
I didn't even go in there.
In this day and age as well, I made myself a little fan. So that when I get hot or if I'm doing...
Hi. Has it got a motor in it?
Yes, it's got a little.
You're gonna have to make yourself look big. Can't you make yourself look big?
Yeah, I can. Hold on.
Better make myself look big.
There you go. So if I switch the switch and start, switch it up, it stops. So they have their uses. They also have their artistic uses as well.
You've made yourself a new skull.
Yeah,
Is that in case you fall off and bash your old one in?
I'm practicing working on the neck, so I can make
Good idea.
myself a new neck.
Can you do yourself a new neck?
I wish. I really do wish. I really do wish. Stitch has a question. Why should you not grease your brakes? Just for anyone who has no flour in their garden.
Grease is quite expensive, isn't it? You won't want to waste it.
Yeah.
Just a smear with a finger.
Because greases come in all different grades, and if you're not careful, you're going to pick the wrong grade, and you're going to have all sorts of problems.
Yeah, most of the time people get it wrong. They go to put the brakes on, and they just don't work. So don't know unless you know what you're doing. Don't put grease on your brakes.
Yeah,
That's when they've used copper instead of lithium, isn't it?
yeah.
Well, it could be. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Or
You want some graphite grease and the really lumpy graphite grease. That might be all right because it's got the bits to grip in with it. But no.
Which, of course, you can just scribble all over it with a pencil for the same effect.
Yeah.
And of course, the worst kind of grease that you can put on your bike.
Hair grease.
Now, bear with me. The worst kind of grease you can put on your bike. You have to be very, very careful. It's just if you put those on your bike, you're not going to stop at all. It's just very bad. Be careful what grease you use on your bike.
You wouldn't want to stop because it'd be too embarrassing anyway. So
Dave's got a green bike. Actually, I've got a red bike. It's just got green stuff inside it. They're all dead, Dave. Yep, they're all dead. And Carmel know that. My mate 3D printer has a new dashboard for his motorbike. Yes, you can print as long as you got the STL file, or if you are good at 3D modeling, you can replace many parts that you break in a crash.
I'll tell you, I was as a slight aside, when we were doing the TDM, we used this kind of weird plasticky powder and a chemical that made it go hard, and we were doing all sorts of stuff to rebuild on the dash where there was a piece missing that you had to put a bolt through. And have you seen these 3D pens?
Yeah.
I've been quite tempted to get a 3D pen only for that kind of thing, where if you've got a crack in plastics, drill out the end and use the 3D pen as a welding.
You can do
that. That was a sensible thing I was trying to say there. So if that came across as stupid, then it was a joke. But if that is a sensible thing, then I'm all about.
Let me just say you can do that, or you can save a lot of money by getting the 3D filament and a lighter, and you just heat up the end and stop it in, and it'll do exactly the same thing.
I think probably for the control part, when we were, I don't know if you remember, the TDM had, it's like I don't know what the name is, but it's like a little well or something of plastic where the bolt drops right in, and it has a little hole in the bottom. And we were building that up around a socket to get the right size, and then taking the socket out. And I just thought, for that kind of thing of sticking a socket in and just running the pen round it could be really quick for that kind of thing.
Yeah, it would. If you're doing a lot of it, so not a lot. If you're doing it on a semi-regular basis, if you're going to be doing several bikes, then yeah. Or if you're going to be doing repair jobs for people, then yeah, it's worth the money for doing that. As long as you can use ABS, because ABS is what most of the plastics are. That in what's it? This stuff here is PLA. It's
Yeah.
biodegradable, so I could put that in the ground and it'll just rot away. Which and it's also not very temperature resistant. 100 degrees, boiling water, this will become very soft. And that's not very good for a piston, I don't think. So I'm going to have to water cool the jacket, I think.
So you think you should have gone with ABS for your piston?
No, this is just prototyping to make sure I've got everything right.
ABS for the real thing.
Yeah, or I might use some of the there's a lot of filaments you can get out there. You get stuff that got foam inside them, so if they break, the foam expands, or something like that to fill up any gaps. There's all sorts of different weird, wonderful things out there. Yeah, PET is supposed to be good. It's supposed to be a mix between the ABS and the PLA. It's got the strength of the ABS and all the rest of it, but the ease of printing of a PLA. It's only slightly hotter at about 200 to 220 degrees instead of 250. But the trouble is, if you were to put that on a glass bed with nothing between the glass bed and your print, when you're taking it off, it could pull part of the glass bed off with it. Is that strong?
I don't sleep in a glass bed.
Yeah.
No. Can you put a layer of greaseproof paper underneath
Yes,
it, like when
you
you're
can.
baking a cake?
Yeah, you can, or you can. Most of them put blue
Copper slip?
blue painter's tape. You know, like stuff like that. That does it. You can use PLA, not PLA, PVA glue as well, and any barrier that will help to get it off. Anyway, we're going into 3D printing rather than bikes. Now I can really want one to be handy for odd parts I need for the old bikes. Yes.
I'm assuming it means a 3D printer and not the pen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drawing a fairing would be quite hard work, I think.
Yeah. No, it would probably do him very well. If you ever go and watch his channel, you see him always putting the bikes back together. He did a restoration job, and quite a few parts that I saw on there, I thought he's having trouble with. He'd probably be okay with a 3D print of that rather than trying to weld bits of metal together or stick something to something else to get it to fit. I'm remembering that the one, I think it was his cub that he was on, the tail had rotted away off the back. And talking about tails, the tail rotted away in the back and he had to shorten it or something similar. But yeah, he could have 3D printed a complete new piece that he could have bolted on and it would have done good. Question, why shouldn't you use a 3D printer to make new swing arms for your motorbike? Strength.
I thought it was the colour.
No, strength.
You can't get the colour, can you? You can't get the shine.
I've got my... This is the one I proper find because you can actually see the word metric and imperial written on it now. But this here, just not very strong. Not very strong at all. No, it's just plastic.
My dad was a joiner. And I remember the first time I went on a job with him and he went up the ladder and I said, that ladder's really bending. And he said, that's strength, son. If it don't bend, it's not strong, is it? So, I think you're actually just making the case.
No, it's
for 3D painted spring arms.
No. The ladders were not bending; they were bowing. If they were bending, it actually just forms and doesn't come back.
Gone all technical on me there, Dave.
Yeah.
All I remember was they were bending.
Yeah, but it's you can like we said before, get metal 3D printers. You can get infusion 3D printers, which has got metal bits in them. You can get 3D printers that will print your design out of similar substances to wax, which you can then take to get a foundry to pour the metal into it under the
cast for you.
Yeah, casting. That's right. That's the word I was trying to find.
The ladders were wooden. Can you do a wooden one?
You can print 3D wood, yeah.
Would that be stronger or weaker than plastic as a swing arm?
Probably the same, but you have to remember the size of your bed. If you want to set
King
a ladder,
size.
you want to set a ladders, you'd have to have lots of little pieces like this, which you'd have to glue together.
I've got loads of wood glue. I'm all right.
And I remember listening to the old green bottles of wood glue. They said the glue is stronger than the wood it's sticking. So
Probably for the best on a swing arm.
So
Make your swing arm out the glue then.
why don't they make the ladders out of the glue? Be Bad Biker Bad says I'm lost now. Get a stat nav. It'll be well. So did you buy the VFR then, Calm?
Well, funnily enough, no. I was so disappointed. I am. I had a quick scan down the comments, and I am tempted now to see if there's another one to test ride, because it feels like maybe that one was broken. I don't know.
Could have been. I mean, it could have been that the suspension was set up for somebody of my size.
And the engine was set up for somebody. Was the engine set up for somebody without a license? I don't know. Just so slow.
Think about it. If the bike is designed for everybody to test ride, everything about the bike is going to be general rather than specific, isn't it? And they might have made sure that. Well, I don't know if they can, but might have made sure that you can't get full horsepower out of it.
It's a weird one. I mean, it wasn't a demonstrator; it was a second-hand bike, so it wasn't like it was something they were looking to protect particularly. And I think they'd probably be happy if I crashed it, because it was £1,000 excess. It probably paid for the thing, but I was just so slow. It claimed to be 105 horsepower. The Z750R was 105 horsepower. The only thing I can say is if you get a bike with decent horsepower and decent torque, it feels, when you put the power on, it feels solid. It feels like it's pushing you, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And this didn't. It just felt like it was slowly getting slightly faster or louder. But there was at no point did it give you a real shove.
Stitch says another use for the 3D pen, using the lots of little pieces to glue them together. Yeah, well, I remember when I went on my 900 sprint, first of all, you were saying when you open the throttle, it feels like it's pushing you. Well, I didn't get that on my 900 sprint. I felt like it was pulling me, and I felt it was pulling me off. And just
there's a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah. And, that was
so what you were saying was it was a very good ride.
Yeah, that was down to the fairing or lack of it. With you said yourself when you lifted your head up like that. I know what you're laughing at. I'm trying to bring it back to a sensible thing.
Come on, calm now, calm.
When you lifted your head up, and then all that wind stopped buffeting your head, and you said, "It's great now." That's what I felt. I had lots of air coming at me, pushing me off when I was accelerating. And I remember watching things in the 80s, Street Walk, for instance. When he goes into the hyperdrive, they do the lens pulling effect, and I felt like that's what I was seeing when I opened up that throttle the first time I was on it. But soon as I got
that one,
900 Sprint Triumph. But soon as I got the fairing for it, and it covered me, it stopped the wind getting into me. It was a sweet bike. It was lovely to ride.
I think for me, it's more that the Z that I've got now and the one I had before, the 750. Ignoring the wind part, it was going. It was that solid acceleration. This just felt really woolly.
Yeah.
You on the CB500X, it didn't have a lot of acceleration, and this didn't feel much more than that. It was weird. It did feel like there was, just something wrong. Some people have said, maybe there was.
Dealership.
He said, "Did you like it?" And I said, "Not really." I said, it didn't feel like it had any go about it. It didn't feel like it had any power. And he kind of went, yeah. And that was it. He just kind of, that's what it's like.
He wanted to sell the bike, didn't he?
One hell of a salesman.
I mean, to be fair, the dealership, I've bought 3 bikes from them, from the Kawasaki side. But yeah, it rode very similar to the Z1000SX if you didn't have access to the throttle. And that was it. It was just a weird, just something about it. It didn't have any particular problems dealing with things. It's quite interesting to have a bike that you could actually steer at slow speed, and you could do a U-turn in the road without having to kind of back up and have a second go at it, because you could actually steer the bars quite a way around. But yeah, it had no guts to it at all.
Big Bad Biker says, was it a rain model?
No, was it in rain mode?
Sorry, rain mode. Sorry, not model, mode.
I don't believe it has a rain mode. But no, it was everything that could be switched off.
Bloody hell. It don't sound right.
Doesn't sound right, does it?
No. It is tempting to try and get on another one. I'm told that the previous generation of it is actually a lot better than the new generation.
Maybe it had been restricted, but there again, it's too much horsepower to actually restrict it for
well, that's
Mod 2 anyway, isn't it?
That's what I thought. My first thought was maybe it's a restriction, and then went, hang on, it's an 800. Why would they even think about trying to restrict an 800? There's too much.
For A2, it can't restrict anything over 92 horsepower, I think it is, or 94 or something. And this is supposedly 105, but
you've got to take it down by more than 50%, haven't you? If you do that, that's why. Yeah. So the maximum you can do is 50%, isn't it? But it felt similar in power to say the XJ6 I had, which was about 80 horsepower.
GB says, get a VFR, get the touring screen for it.
It'll take me some convincing to buy a VFR now.
Yeah. Like I said, it might be that one model. It might have been thrashed to death. It might have, if it's a courtesy bike as well, it's...
No, it wasn't. It was just a bike they had in that's it's coming second hand, and it was just one to give a try to. So
there's one happy biker out there somewhere.
I got rid of it. Yeah, I got real money for it, and it's knackered.
It reminds me of when Mr. B was talking on one of the Hangouts, and he said there was one of the guys on, I can't remember who, said there was they went in and saw this Hayabusa, and it was 4 owners but only 2,000 miles or 3,000 miles on it.
That might have been me.
Yeah,
I remember going into Five Ways in Hull, and there was a Hayabusa that it had 3,000 miles. It was 3 years old, and it had 3 owners.
Yeah.
It's basically unused, isn't it? So there's either something really wrong with it, or 3 people have scared the bejesus out of themselves.
He said, I'm not having that one anymore.
I'm quite tempted to try one. But they're just not very... It's a bit ugly, aren't they?
Yeah. They're a Marmite bike.
Yeah.
I like what they can do, but I don't like the looks of it at all. And yet the Jix 1000 just looks quite a nice bike.
I definitely cannot ride one. I can't lift my head up far enough to see in front, more than 2 feet in front of the headlights.
I think I've got a photo of you, actually, Dave, on the Hayabusa like this.
I have. I've shown it on here a few times. Let me see if I can find it. Chat amongst yourselves, gentlemen.
Here we go.
Because it'll be in the Lincoln Rideout, to know that.
It is, yeah. There was you and Skeggy both had a sit on it.
Yeah, and I had a sit on Skeggy's bike as well. Yeah,
the thing that actually, the VFR thing, I definitely won't buy one anyway, because the thing that killed it, even if you could put one in there and it had twice the power and it went how I had hoped it would go, I'd only done about 30 miles on it, and I'm still feeling it in my knees now. I couldn't understand how it was more cramped than the Z1000.
Yeah. A friend of mine bought an XJR 1300 a couple of weeks back. That was restricted. He was told it had plates on the carbs. There weren't, but it won't go over 70 miles an hour. Jim looked at it.
That's really unusual.
Yeah. That sounds like a mapping, throttle mapping rather than anything else.
Well, if it's got carbs, it won't have throttle mapping.
No.
Yeah, you're right. Because that's injected, isn't it?
Yeah.
They could have put deliberately small jets in it or something.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got to ride a whippy puppy, Richard. I'd see if you can find another one to try. At least you'd know if it's the model or just the bike.
It is tempting, if only for coming back and saying I'm still not buying one because of the knees, but it'd be interesting to see if it was the same or better, wouldn't it? It was suggested that I should get myself a Blackbird. I quite enjoyed the Blackbird, to be honest. It was quite a laugh.
This is when I had a few extra pounds or kilos on as well. But yeah, I cannot lift my head any higher than that, and I can just about see 2 foot in front of the steering wheel.
There's a lot of riders ride like that anyway. What's the problem?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to be able to see where I'm going. But Skeggy's bike, on the other hand, totally different.
Could only see the sky. All right, I see. I could see you on one of them, Dave.
Yeah, so could I. That's a nice bike. I like that one.
I can't get over the size of the tyres.
Huge, aren't they? Yeah, good old Skeggy. Having a vape. Memorizing here, anyway.
Them's were the days.
Them were the days, 2014.
When we're allowed out.
6 years ago. My word. How many bikes have you had in the last 6 years, Con?
6. It actually is 6.
I'm still on the same one.
I've owned 6 bikes in it is 6-7 years, and I've been riding. I've owned 6 bikes. Yeah. The one I've got now, though, I've had since 2016. So I found one that I like.
Yeah, which is the best way to do. Once you've got one you like, it's pointless getting rid of it. Yeah.
I had 2 I liked. That little Honda. I'm tempted to get another. People are saying, "No, you don't want them. It's underpowered." But there's something about the little Honda that, even though it was underpowered, it was an A2 bike. It was just great fun.
They are wonderful for flicking around, for just going all over the place. They will do legal speed limits. It'll take them half an hour to get up there, but they'll do it.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, you could overtake anything. If somebody wanted to, if you were trying to overtake a car that was a bit quick, and they decided to stop you, then you won't be able to overtake them. But it was fine, and it was great fun. Every ride I had on it, I enjoyed. Even the ones where I got caught out on the top of the North York moors in ice, I still enjoyed it, even though keeping the thing tracking in a straight line was hard work. The only ride I didn't enjoy was the last few seconds of the last ride we had, when somebody decided to do a U-turn in front of us. But apart from that, it was great. I'd have another one in a heartbeat. I actually saw one the other day, and it looked mint. It had 2,000 miles on it for, I think it was 4,200. So you think 2,000 miles, I've run it in for you, and they've knocked $2,000 off the price.
Yeah.
I think you can't go wrong, can you? Cheap as chips as well, the bike. Even brand new, the cheapest chips, aren't they? For what they are,
I remember years ago as well, I actually had 2 bikes at the same time, which is unusual for me. and they were both there. You had a fast and a slow. And the white one on the back is an RD 350 power valve, and the one in the front is a Yamaha XS 250 SE, which is that one. The blue one would only do 60 to 65 downhill with a tow from a truck, and the other one would do 60 to 65 in about 3 seconds, and then go into second gear. Just two totally different bikes, and both of them have had their little niches that I loved, which is why I had them both.
That was the same with me with the 500X and the Z1000 at the same time. Yeah, you have one that's just mental, and one that somebody on the back is in comfort, lots of luggage. I mean, I nearly did an iron bonnet until we got rained off by the worst rain I think we'd had in 2 or 3 years. And then a couple of weeks later, I did about 1,600 miles in a week, just as a little tour around Britain. And apart from the fact that my chain decided to wear out halfway through that tour, it was perfect.
Did you use cable ties to hold it together?
No, it held together, but it was fairly bad.
It was 3 inches longer by the time you got back.
Well, I was out there adjusting it in the morning, and I was adjusting it quite a bit, and then I was out there adjusting it the following morning. We were doing about 250-ish miles a day, and I had to adjust it every day.
Wow!
So it was definitely on the way out, but I never got the mileage out. I put a brand new DID gold chain on it. I was really pleased with that. 2,000 miles later, never been adjusted at all, and then the bike got destroyed.
Yeah, that's what I found. I had the DID gold chain on my Yamaha, and that lasted 4 years, and I adjusted it twice after the initial first adjust. It's pretty
Never
good.
adjusted it at all.
Yeah, they just don't seem to. I mean, I know technically they don't stretch. It's the little rollers that wear down. But it's. Really,
I've never understood the idea that chains stretch.
People get the idea it stretches because they have to.
Because it gets longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't realise what's happening is the teeth are wearing, and the rollers inside the little chain are wearing, so the gap is getting bigger, and you have to bring the two back together again.
But yeah, they never need to adjust it once in about 2,500 miles on that. The Z1000, weirdly enough, I expected to be putting a new chain on it a long time ago, but it's got about just under 15,000 miles on the Z1000, and I haven't changed the OEM chain yet. That's
unusual.
Yeah.
OEMs usually go very, very quickly.
It is I mean, other bikes I've had have gone within 5,000 or 6,000 miles. Have definitely been there, but yeah, this thing, it just keeps going.
And what chain's on it as standard?
I'm not sure what model it is. I know I looked it up about a year ago, and it's not a cheap chain. A replacement chain on it is DID money. But I was still surprised. What now? Sorry,
AFAM.
Doesn't ring a bell.
So AFAM are quite another good make. I mean, I'll always go DID, but if I can't get a DID for a particular bike and I can get hold of an AFAM, then I'll put that on it. The one I will never use again would be, I think it's Subaki or something it was called. And that was crap. Absolute crap.
I just go with DID every time. It's a safe choice, isn't it?
O-ring or X-ring?
X.
I use either.
I gotta say, I don't think they make that much difference for street bikes.
No.
I guess it's just the thing that if something were to split, if something were to split, you've got another arm of the X, haven't you?
Yeah.
I suppose so.
But it's a weird one,
Unless it splits in the middle.
If it splits in the middle, you're stuffed. But it's a weird one, isn't it? Because you see all this stuff, and I still don't know about chain maintenance. I'm intrigued to know your opinions on it, so I'll throw the question out there. But there are so many people who clean their chains and then don't oil them at all, or don't lube them at all, and still get 15, 20, 25 miles out of a chain?
I think it depends on how often they clean it. So the thing that will wear the chain out will be the bits of grit in there, or no lubricant at all, and then you've got the dry surfaces rubbing together.
But there shouldn't be any, should there,
regularly.
In a sealed chain, there shouldn't be anything rubbing together.
Yeah, I'm not 100% convinced they stay sealed over a period of time. Those O-rings or X-rings will wear slightly, so you'll get small amounts of crap in there or the grease coming out after a period of time and so many miles, etc., etc. But I clean mine, I don't know, probably half a dozen times a year, something like that. Give it a right thorough cleaning. And I generally don't have my chain wet, but I lube it with Silcoline chain lube, which is quite a sticky one. But it goes on very thin, like WD-40, and then it kind of thickens up once it's soaked into everywhere. But then once it's done, and I've spun the wheel a few times, I leave it for a couple of days if I'm not riding, and then I'll get a cloth and I'll wipe the outside of the chain to get rid of any excess, so I don't get hardly any fling off. The chain looks dry from the outside, but the internals, all the rollers and that, are all well lubricated.
So I've been using the Worth dry chain lube. I used to use a chain wax, and it just, within 500 miles. I mean, every time I go out, it rains, so it's always covered in crap. But
that's why you're the rain god.
Yeah, but with a chain wax, it goes on white, and then after 2-3 rides, it's just black, and you can get a nail under it and kind of pull a piece off, and you can feel the grit in it. Whereas the dry chain lube, if you look at the chain, it looks like there's nothing on it. Now, I don't know how much difference it makes, whether it does or not, or whether effectively I'm just cleaning it by dousing it in the dry chain lube and then giving it a wipe.
So I think that's probably a good way of looking after it, because you're getting rid of all the dust and the crap that's off, and obviously that's not going to be wearing in as the chain moves and slides around on that. So you're best off keeping it as clean as you can.
Yeah. Oh man, Tony says chain lube is there to stop chains from going rusty.
Yep, because when they're all sealed, you got the rubber bit. You stick the lube on there. It's not going to go inside. It's just going to be on the outside, on the outside of the roller, and all that. So it's just to protect it, stop it going rusty.
Well, also,
I just use engine oil.
Also, theoretically, it will also help prevent wear of the sprockets as well, so they don't wear away so much. Instead of metal on metal, you've got a lubricant there to help it slide. But tight spots on chains can be an issue. Yeah, because
that's just the handcuffs are too tight. That's all it is, Stitch. Don't worry.
And unless, of course, you're going on to the I'm not going any further with that. What was in my head now?
I do like the. I've never tried a Scott oiler, but I've got or I had on the 500. I had a what do you call it? Totoro oiler, and I've got another one that I'm thinking about putting on the Z. It's quite a nice thing, but they even say on the thing that they're not really about oiling the chain or greasing the chain. It's more about keeping it clean. So
I used to have a Scott oiler. I found it just flung too much oil around the back of the bike, so I took it off.
Yeah. Is the other one you said the Totoro? Yeah, is that the one that uses instead of using the engine to feed it, it uses vacuum pressure? Is it?
No, it's much simpler. It's not that there's like Moto Breeze or something, isn't there, that uses vacuum from air going past. The Totoro, basically there's like a cylinder where you fill it with oil, and it's 2 chambers apparently. And when you're riding, the vibrations move a thing up and down, and that lets oil flow into the second chamber, and the second chamber just drips at a constant rate. So once you stop riding, it all closes off the valves and no more comes out. So I quite like the simplicity of it. I also like the idea that, unlike with a Scott oiler, you're not having to cut into important parts of the bike to get the thing working.
Yeah.
It feels a bit wrong that I'll just cut through this vacuum hose and plug in a little T-piece and off you go. I mean, that's got to be awkward when you come to sell your bike and think, I'll keep the Scott oiler. And I don't know, a little lick both ends and stick it back together or something.
Super glue.
Super glue, yeah.
A bit of blue tack, little
3D
bit of
print-
blue tack on the end of the T-piece.
3D printed little tube. That'll do.
Shouldn't laugh about super glue. Somebody asked me today how I solved the problem of my stick coil of the rubber sleeve breaking on the Z, and that was super glue. It's worked so far.
Clean my chain. The Big Bad Biker Baz says, clean my chain on the Bandit every 500 miles. Done 1,500 miles and only just did it a few times. And Stitch says, cheers, Chris. That helps.
Glad to be of a service.
I do remember that Mr. B used to say that he just got a new chain every year. I think he said to me about 6,000 miles, just get a new chain, because why not? On a Hangout as it was, and at the time I thought this just seems like a very expensive way of doing things. But I wonder how much effort and time and money goes into lubing a chain. That maybe it was actually cheaper just to replace his chain every year. Just being controversial now to throw it in there.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I suppose it also depends on how hard you ride your bike.
But he did say he changed it every year, didn't he?
I don't remember that one, but I can't say yes or no because I don't remember it. It's quite possible he said that. But yeah, if you're riding your bike hard, obviously things are going to wear out much quicker, and quite often cheap chains don't last that long. So if you're doing 5,000, 6,000 miles in 6 months, then you're going to be wearing out a bit. So maybe you did. I don't remember. I've been to sleep since then.
Several times. Whatever happened to Mr. B?
He went quiet, did a video, went quiet, did a video, went quiet, did a video, and has gone quiet.
Yeah. There were quite a few. I am going to start making videos again. Videos.
Yeah, and
But then not the videos to follow the. Yeah.
Maybe he needs to get his life back in order before he starts with YouTube. Because, like I've told people before, life comes first. YouTube comes second. YouTube is not my job; it's my hobby. So,
Really?
Yes.
What?
I've got 625 subscribers. 625 subscribers. Drop the mic. And there he is. So we just spend the next 10 minutes looking at his toys. Yeah, so life comes first, and sometimes that's what has to happen. Old Man Tony says, Mr. B rode 20,000 miles every year. Well, yeah, 20,000 miles is a lot. I ride less than 5,000 miles a year. And although this year it's probably going to be a lot less because I haven't actually moved the bike this year. I think I did about 4,500 miles last year. The car's done the rest this year. And having to pick up the wife every weekend from work has kept the car going for a while. So that's another 90 miles a week. Ride Invisible, Old Man Tony says, which is his favourite
Said the
saying.
Invisible Man.
No, Mr. B used to say, remember, ride invisible, as if you were invisible. So people, basically, so if you're riding as if you're invisible, people won't see you, so you ride defensively. Yep, said the Invisible Man. And now we should all wait for Calm to come back with a new bottle of beer. Actually, the last time he went off like this, he actually came back shaven.
Not this time.
No.
No, he did. No, there's no penis up his nose. So
isn't that right, Calm?
Yep.
Told you.
What?
I said the last time you just walked off like that on a hangout, you came back shaven.
I think you might be right, actually.
You did. You did. I remember.
Head
that.
or beard? I can't remember.
No, I don't think it was your head. I'm sure it was your beard.
Was that back in the days when I had hair?
Yes, when you had hair.
I know that feeling.
The amount of money I spent on haircuts, and then I realised, as a true Yorkshireman, that you could buy clippers and never need to go to the hairdressers again. It's awesome.
Very true.
I think it's probably over 20 years since I went. It's getting to the point where it needs clipping again because I can just about get hold of it. But
tweezers.
Yeah. Mine's quite long, actually.
That's what those are for. There, tweezers.
No, about 6 mil. I can just about get hold of it. So it's time for the clippers to go back over it.
I went last week.
Yeah, it shows.
Yeah.
They took the ribbons out, didn't they?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
One of the days where I could sit on my hair.
Oh God, no!
No, we all
That'd
had
drive me out the wall.
We all had long hair.
Never had it. There's been times when I've wished I've had it, but no,
My hair was,
never been longer than collar length.
My hair was down to my lower back, almost to my bum.
If my hair ever got down to the length of my collar, my old man used to go mad.
My mum used to say, about time you cut your hair. And then when I was 17, I went, nope. I said, no, it's going to start getting curly. I went, that's okay. And that was it. I didn't do it again.
If I said at 17 I wasn't getting my hair cut, I'd had a bit of a problem. I was in the army at the time.
Yeah. You're not allowed to. I, on the other hand.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, that was a wig one of the guys brought in. We all tried it on. Yeah, I definitely have lost weight since then. Thank goodness. Everybody tried it on. That was a fun day.
Mad. Totally mad. Right, while it's quiet, I'm going to love you and leave you guys. I've got to get up for work early.
Thanks for coming.
Okay, mate.
No, it's always good to chat. I'll catch up with you all next week.
Thanks for not making me be alone on here.
No worries.
See you later, mate. Thanks for coming.
Later.
See you later. Bye.
Moy says, could changing chains every year have an effect on the sprocket? Could it? It could cause uneven wear on the chain and sprockets wearing at different rates. Well, theoretically, you should be changing your sprockets every time you change your chain. And if you believe Mr. B, you should change your front sprocket twice in the life of a chain because it's wearing twice as quick because it's smaller and going around quicker. But I don't know whether that is really true because it's made of a harder metal.
I've always changed my sprockets and chain at the same time.
Yeah, same here.
But I've never seen. I mean, they always said that you there you go. There's an example of a sprocket hooking over, but I've never seen it. I struggle to see how you get the sprocket hooking over unless you've decided I'll change the chain, but I'll leave the sprockets in place for 2 or 3 chains.
No,
Yeah.
no. If you actually take some links out the chain to make it shorter
Hmm.
and put it back on the bike again, which I have done in the past when money was tight,
Hmm.
it does start hooking over. Then it starts wearing out. Then it gets sort of frilly. So what you have to do is really pull the chain really taut, so that when you accelerate, it doesn't just twist around the cog.
Yeah.
I've
I'm
heard
not-
of people turning the sprockets over as well, and
Yeah,
let's use the
turning-
other side.
Yeah, turning them around. I've done that as well. No, when it was tight.
Is that a bit like I can wear my pants 4 times?
4 times. Yeah.
Stitch says, Dave, my youngest son has always had long hair. He had a haircut at 1 year old, and that was the first and last year, and he's older.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and here's some sprockets. That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
I mean, I'm
That's
no
my
expert.
sprocket.
Yeah, I'm no expert, but I think that sprocket probably not got, maybe a couple more 1,000 miles in it, but I think that's your limit.
Well, you can always weld the chain onto it.
Yeah. Or you can weld some knobbles on there for the chain to latch onto.
Could you 3D print a new one?
Yeah, that wouldn't last either. Yeah, that one's got a tooth missing.
Yeah. It's slightly poor condition, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, this.
I mean,
shows,
at least the other one had even wear on it.
this shows you what I was saying earlier. These rollers in the middle, you can see the way they are shaped there.
The cupped, yeah.
Yeah, that's the wear on it. That's what your lubricant really is there for, is to help prevent this. You can see the O-rings here are mostly there. That one's disappeared. That one's crushed. But
Yeah.
Quite brown.
Brown, yeah. That's called
It's got.
that's called
It's
rust.
no, it's patina, mate. It's patina. It's not
Patina.
rust.
Why are the O-rings rusted?
It's weathering. See if there's anything else.
Is this your personal gallery, Dave?
No, this is.
Is that from where you were saying about your first bike?
No, it wasn't my first bike. It was actually my dad's bike when I passed my test. I passed my test and I had his Honda 250 Super Dream, and that was the one that I kept doing that on for some strange reason. I have no idea why. I just let it go. Yeah, there any good ones there to see?
I'd
That's
replace that
toast.
one.
Yeah,
I'd replace that one.
definitely.
I don't know about toast. It's like a crumpet.
Looks like a tart. Cherry Blackwell.
What's that one?
It's only got a double chain
Top
thing
left.
there, brother.
Top
Yeah.
left. This one or this one?
No, left.
The other left.
Other left.
Sorry, this one.
No, that's right. Other left. That's it.
This
Yeah, that one. What's going on there?
No, not that one. Top left.
Yeah.
Top.
Top.
Left.
No, that'll be the right. That's the one. What's going on there? 2 chains.
Ah.
No, double sprocket. That'll be industrial probably.
Industrial motorbike.
No, industrial sprocket.
I
didn't say
thought you meant an
motorbike.
FJR.
I didn't type in motorbike sprocket. I just typed in worn sprocket.
Clever.
Yeah. So you
There's
can
a
see all
fine
sorts of-
line between clever and stupid.
Yeah. CB550. There's no teeth on that.
You know,
There
they
is.
say, yeah, there definitely are. You know, they say that you should never lube your chain or wipe your chain with the engine running because of the damage you could do to your fingers.
Yeah.
With a sprocket like that, I think you'd be fine.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I recognise that sprocket.
That's
I
a
like the
slipping
fact that's
clutch.
slipping clutch. Yeah, there's a misunderstanding going on there, isn't there?
You see, it's quite simple. It's quite simple. You can see the chain is going this way here. So it's hitting these and jumping off.
Oh, yeah, you turn it round.
Just
You
turn
it
it
round,
round.
yeah.
works fine.
Yeah.
Get another 5,000 out of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
easy. No problem at all. What are we like?
All solved with a derailleur.
Yeah. No, but
What?
the thing is, I have done that sort of thing, turn them round, and no, I've had sprockets like that. Just could have had to, because I hadn't got the money and I needed to get to work.
That last one, Dave.
Yeah,
What's going on there?
that's just showing teeth in a sprocket.
But if you bring that one back up,
So
those two rollers in the middle look drastically thinner than the
rest.
rollers around them.
Yeah, it is. And if you look here, this is a link. See the little spring clip there?
Yeah, that's your
link.
little clip, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
No,
So
no rings on that one.
No.
That's an older chain, pre-O-rings.
Yeah.
Or a cheaper chain.
Just
Yeah,
interest
cheap
now.
Chinese.
Those rollers have definitely worn, haven't they?
Yeah.
GSX
maybe.
600F.
Anyway, where are the other retrobates? Well, the other retrobates are probably sleeping after being at work. I know Dobby, he said he's going out today, so we've got to let him have a day off, you know. Probably frightened that I was going to get him to host or something.
Yeah, he's supposed to be hosting, wasn't he?
Mm. But the trouble now is, as life is starting to get back to normal, we're having less and less free time now. Because, for instance, me, I can do it tonight because I'm not at work tomorrow because I'm on a 4-day week at the moment. But as soon as I'm back onto full time, it's going to be difficult for me because I have to be up at 4:30 in the morning, and it's 11 o'clock now. And quite often we've been on here till 2 in the morning before now. So it's going to be hard for me to keep hosting all the time. So we're gonna have to find people to share the host to keep these going. Otherwise, it might end like they did last time because of time constraints and restrictions and everything. And I can't do Fridays because I'm always busy picking up the wife. Mr. B Sprockets, yeah. By the way, while you're away, he says Mr. B does 20,000 miles on his bike every year. So maybe he does need to buy a new chain every year.
Yeah.
I've never replaced a chain on my push bike. No, because you keep pushing it. If you cycle, you might actually use it. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
It looks like Stitch won that Wanger.
Wanger? Wager.
Wager.
Wanger.
W-A-G.
She won the Wanger.
Wanger. That's the trouble when it comes to reading words that you don't normally read. I'm terrible at it. It's definitely looking that way, although I think Jim has been up to stupid hour tomorrow. I believe Weggy is on night. Yeah, Weggy's on nights. He told me that earlier. He says he might pop in if he gets a free moment, but that could be at any time. But I don't think that'll be to come online. That'll just be in the chat if he manages to. And we know Suffolk Andy's been working back at work, so he's not getting any free time either. So unfortunately, got me and Carl as the two regulars. Carm has managed to have a night off, so he's managed to come in, which has really helped.
I'm on holiday.
Yay!
I'm retarded. Sorry, retired.
I'm both.
I don't want to win a Wanger. Sorry, Stitch.
Whose Wanger is she going to win?
Yeah, wager.
Right.
Just for those that were looking earlier,
Round and round and round and round. Is it just me that's seeing the thing going round and round and round quite
No,
hypnotically?
no. It's... In a minute. This is exciting.
It's trippy.
Yeah, man. Got some Pink Floyd in the background, don't we?
I think it's not working, Dave.
No. Dave. Dave.
I think
No.
Dave's broke.
Dave. He's a codpiece. Dave. You've gone, Dave.
They're all dead, Dave. Dave.
I
they're all dead.
know.
Do you think he's coming back?
I hope so.
I wonder if this is live to the nation. And that.
Oh,
He's gone.
Oh no, just me and thee. Oh, he's coming back.
Oh no, it's gone worse. There's two Daves.
It's coming.
yeah,
There's two of them.
If I squint, he's in 3D.
I have no idea what happened there.
Stuff happened.
Oh. No idea. I was just start to talk. I was going to say I was just going to bring up a picture with a cog saying worn and good. I was going to say just in case those watching don't know what's going on.
I just thought you've just brought up a picture of worn and good, but I'm not saying who is who.
Okay, where did I get to? Yeah. I think Dave has Carl's glasses on. Yeah, probably. Doesn't help. I never learnt to read.
Suffolk Andy! Come on, where is he? Andy?
Evening, Andy. You're allowed to come in. You know?
I don't think you should read his comment out. I think he has to join.
Yeah, you have to join and tell us your comments yourself. Work always gets in the way of life. That is so true. I just can't wait till I retire.
No, it doesn't. No, I've got no work, so you know.
Yeah, but my retirement is in the Philippines, so I'm gonna get to be over there, seeing that beautiful sunshine every day, the beautiful women, fantastic.
the beautiful lady boys, yeah, I know.
No, lady boys are Thailand.
I haven't frozen. I'm just annoyed.
What? What, me retiring early?
I heard the Prime Minister talking the other week about how he wants people to retire at 75.
Yeah.
And I thought I had reached the point where I was halfway through my career, and now I'm not anymore.
Yeah.
And it's quite depressing.
It is. Every day I go to work and say I can't wait for another 4 years. Every day, and I've had enough.
He's got me basically now on another nearly 28 years.
Yeah, I know. It's just ridiculous. I mean, he can probably work till he's 75. That doesn't mean that.
What, the Prime Minister?
Yeah, I'm just
saying. When's he going to start?
He can work until he's 75. You know, me, I don't want to be.
He's never had a job in his life.
I don't want to be manhandling pieces of metal around and welding them together when I'm 75. Dear me. Evening, Andy. Yeah, I'm not going to attempt that word.
Have you sent Andy a link?
I did.
Come on, Andy, get on the thing. If not for any other reason than to explain why your son didn't climb into that hole.
Yeah. Copy.
Well, my official retirement age is 66, the same as Andy. But I decided that I was at work, it said there's redundancies in offing. I've got a year's pay out of it, and I just went, me. Please, mister.
We were flying without
Because
a pilot.
I wouldn't have been going out if I hadn't volunteered. I'd have been still there.
It's soul destroying, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, I mean, it was when I was starting and started my retirement plan at the age of what was it, 21? No, I think it was 18. It wasn't. Yeah, it was 18. And got my Scottish widows and said, when you're 65 and you retire, you're estimated going to have this much, which is more than what the government is going to do, and all the rest of it. And then you go, now you're going to be 67. And now it's 75. Dear me.
Hey!
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 Andy, you all right, mate?
Andy!
Oh, you right, boys?
Evening.
Can you hear me, mother? Can you hear
Evening,
me?
Andy.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So,
Oh, it's
we
good.
can hear the Mankini Andy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, yeah.
You like the Mankini, Andy?
I can't. I don't
I
know.
missed
how
that
to see
video. I'm quite pleased.
Oh right, I have no idea what you're talking about, but
Okay, let me just say it's your name. I haven't changed
right.
it from last week. Remember when we put Mankini on?
I don't think I
There
was
you
on
go.
last week, was I?
So forget Andy. It was the last time you were on.
I think it's a couple of weeks ago. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
I mean,
been crazy, mate. Absolutely crazy. But got a day off tomorrow, I think.
Until they call you in.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Just got to keep an eye on the weather forecast. That's all.
At the moment, we're going to have rain, low temperatures, 20s, a little bit of sun,
God.
rain. Moise says, good day, Andy.
Good day, mate.
Moise, you need to get up there. I want to see if your expression changes. Me neither. Retired or self-employed depends on how I feel. Yeah, at the moment, I feel like I just want to quit everything and just get over there, get into our house, and figure something out when I get there. I know it's a bad plan, but I've got about 4 years to figure the plan out. But yeah, just fed up with it.
I think you've got it the right way round. My uncle married a Filipino lady, and they moved to Britain.
Yeah,
And that was definitely the wrong way around.
yeah, definitely.
Although they were on the Isle of Man, but he didn't like bike racing. So
That's not the best place to go.
yeah.
No, don't like bikes. My God. Mind you, wouldn't have to put up with it this year because there ain't any, is there? So,
Nah.
in fact, there's bugger all of anything, really.
Hasn't
Sort of,
MotoGP started?
I think next week.
Yeah, because
And
Formula
I
1
think-
started
Yeah,
last weekend.
MotoGP next week, and I think BSB starts in August. I think, and they're having a short
Yeah.
season. Yeah.
I like Big Bad Biker Baz's idea. He says, I'm semi-retired. I only send half of myself to work.
Oh, yeah, I used to do. I used to leave my brain behind.
I like that. I like that idea. Me neither. Retired, self-employed. Doesn't depend how I feel. A bad plan is better to have no plan. Well, probably. Evening, Jim. Evening, guys. Quick
Evening,
hello.
Jim.
Good day, Jim, and evening, Jim. And we're all caught up again. So, how's your week been, Andy?
Yeah. Hectic. I've done over 500 miles already just to work and back. Still got tomorrow if we go. It's crazy. 12-hour days, mate, all the time. They're trying to catch up on all the backlog.
Yeah.
So my little part-time job has turned into a mental job. The only good thing about it is that I work with my youngest son, so we go to work together and work together. So that's
Bit of
just
bonding.
absolutely crazy. Yeah, well, we've always got on well anyway, but you know, The only reason I keep doing it is because at the moment he's been waiting for a driving test, and because they've all been suspended, so he can't get the sort of places like we go to. So I've been taking him and working with him, you know. So yeah, crazy, mate, absolutely crazy. And the other motorbike, go on then, mate.
I was going to say, at least it brings the money in, get some decent money out of it.
It's a good paid job. The other thing is, I am now down to 2 bikes. I have actually sold my CX 500C. It went on last Saturday. It went. So I'm down to 2 bikes now. And the guy who got it, young Connor, a young mechanic, I hadn't started it for 4 odd years. And he got it back to his garage. He's a mechanic, and he got it started yesterday, and it runs like a good one. So he's happy.
Excellent.
Exactly.
What's he going to do with it? Just is it restoration or
no? He ain't got a lot to do to it. He's just going to get an MOT next week, and then he's going to ride it, and then he's going to bob it.
All right. So he's going to do a custom job on it. Yeah.
So he says, yeah. You know, I wouldn't surprise me if he does it, because he does all stuff on cars as well. You know, he's quite good at that. So I thought, well, he wanted it, and I thought, well, it's been sitting in my garage for fucking 7 years. I thought, why not let him have it and get the enjoyment out of it, you know, instead of just sitting there wasting away.
Yeah. Let it do what it's meant to do, get on the road.
Yeah, he said to me yesterday, he said, when I get it MOT'd and everything, he said, I'm going to bring it round to yours, because he's always round here. He said, I'm going to bring it round yours, and you can have a ride on it. I said, okay, son, that'll do.
Yeah, bring it round, you can sniff the seat.
I see that, Mr. Calm, you've been on one of those VFRs.
Aye.
Yeah. Now, I had a mate who had a VFR, and we went to France. I was on my ZZR 1200, and he was on a VFR. It's an 800, isn't they?
Yeah.
And it went like stink, man. Honestly, they must have been. It went like stink, and he had his missus on the back. He wasn't the, how can I put it, the smallest creature on this earth, and he had all his luggage and stuff. And
I start to wonder if there's something wrong with it. I mean, I said in the video it felt more like a twin. Maybe 2 cylinders weren't firing. I don't know.
No, well, I always say a VFR is the Swiss Army knife of bikes. It should be good for everything. And his bike really carried him and his missus and all their gear really, really well. And I used to go out with him loads of times, and he was a fantastic rider, but he could get a turn of speed out of that thing, I tell you. Yeah, so I don't know what.
I'm thinking I might see if I can try another one, because maybe there's something wrong with it. I mean, it felt gutless. Absolutely gutless.
It hadn't been restricted.
I don't think they can be, because they're well, I mean, I suppose anything can be, but the only reason you'd really restrict it is for A2, isn't it? And they've got too much power to be allowed to be restricted to A2.
That's
it just
strange.
Feels a bit.
That's strange.
Yeah, something. If I don't know, maybe. I mean, I'm jumping off the Z1000 onto it, which I didn't expect it to have anywhere near the power of the Z1000, but I expected it to have a lot more than it gave.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but I always thought he was pretty quick. No, I don't.
Was this the 8? Oh, there is a 12, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a VFR 1200. Yeah, that's pretty quick. But no, he had the 800.
Right.
And I'm talking, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago. Because I know with them they have they have to have a massive service or something when they get to about 20,000 miles or something. And if you don't have it done, that devalues the bike, and that's pretty expensive. That's about 600 or 700 quid's worth, I think. If I might be wrong, but that's what I thought anyway.
Yeah, Calm can do it, and take a month to do it, and film it while he's doing it. No problem.
6 months at my speed.
I found a little bit of corrosion here. Whoops! Let's strip the bike.
Don't know what you're talking about.
I've always quite liked those VFRs. I must admit, I've always liked the look of them. I think they're a good looking bike.
Yeah, they look nice.
You know, and they're modern looking, aren't they? Because the design is quite old now, but they haven't aged with time, have they? Like some bikes do. They look quite modern.
Yeah, I mean the new one, it's got a look of a Ducati about it, hasn't it? I mean, obviously not Ducati, but it's got that kind of the front end look has that kind of style to it.
It's a VTE service.
VTEC.
VTEC.
Yeah. I know they have to have a I can remember my mate telling me about having a big service or something which costs loads of money, but I don't know a lot about bikes anyway, so just ride them.
The VTEC system changes the timing, doesn't it? So that the timing of it, I believe so. So the timing changes higher up in the revs to give you more power. But I took it up to the red line and nothing spectacular happened at all.
No. No, I don't know. I know at the time as well when he had that, I had a what was it, an FJ? I don't know. I had a bloody great muscle bike, and that was a 1300, and that 800 on a takeoff could fucking slaughter my bike. I know that.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's what he had, something like that. Yeah,
that's the previous one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what he had.
2008.
Yeah.
Everything I've read says that the previous version was better than the current one, but I still don't believe that it could make that much difference. That it would be not exciting in the
like
least.
that.
Yeah.
Nice looking bike.
That's the 2020.
Yeah, you got one from the front end. The front end of it, I think, looks really nice.
No, that's a Ninja. That's not the one.
That is the one, but just not a very good angle.
Ninja.
Are you sure?
Kawasaki Ninja. Yeah, it's just Kawasaki Ninja 1000 SX 2020.
Yeah, that definitely is a Ninja 1000. Obviously, they've put VFR bodywork on it.
Yeah, strange, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe the red ones are faster, and the problem was I had a silver one.
The red ones have got. To go faster
so there you go then. Yeah.
They got the go faster seam lines. Look, see.
That'll be it, won't it?
The red paint's lighter than gold, silver. We all know that.
Well, it's got metal in it, hasn't it?
What about black paint?
Makes it heavier.
What does black do for you?
Makes him moist. Yeah.
I think I like the silver one better.
Yeah, most people do.
So I think it looks best in red.
See, that
but it's kind of meaningless because it hurt my knees.
Yeah,
and
it made me feel old.
hurt your knees and your gentleman's area.
Yeah, but I use my knees more often.
I'm not saying a word.
Well, I'll tell you what though, Carl. I'm not being funny here. You're not the tallest bloke in the world, so why did it make your knees ache?
And I had it on the high seat setting as well.
My God! So somebody like me, 6 foot bloody 1 or 2, would struggle on that.
You'd have to have 2 as roller skates.
He's 6'2" in these platforms.
Yeah.
Me stuck heels.
I mean, to be fair, I had to have my cruciate ligament out in the knee that really hurt. So it's not like it's an uninjured knee, but even so, you wouldn't expect it to cause pain after like 30, 35 miles.
No.
Certainly, you couldn't do 1,000 miles on it, could you? If it's hurting you after 30.
I had a GPZ 305 belt drive. Well, I've had 2 of them, and that would hurt me 55, 60 miles and stuff like that, and I'd be hurting, and you just got used to it. But this 600 that I got at the moment. So I've done 300, 400 miles on that and not hurt at all. I mean, I used to get the numb bum, but now I don't get anything at all on that bike. So yeah, it's whatever bike fits you, it's going to be good. So if it doesn't fit you, if it doesn't suit your body shape, style, or whatever, then it's not the bike for you. But yeah, you can definitely give another bike.
I wonder who it would fit.
Andy.
Who would it fit with? Me, my stupidly tiny legs, you know.
Wallace and Gromit, probably.
Yeah.
That's why fire engines are red, because
so they can go quicker. Yeah.
JB says,
It's
yeah, Andy.
lighter paint.
Yes, it's been quite crazy. It's been quite crazy the last 3 weeks. So, and because I've got a social club to run as well, so that's taken. Oh God,
have
enough hours.
Have you opened that up? Have you?
No,
No.
I won't. No, I'm not going to open that up until we're back to normal. I'm not going to lose money by anybody.
Yeah.
You know, stupid regulations and that. We wouldn't be able to sell enough beer to cover the costs.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna wait until the last possible moment when they take the furlough away. Then that's when we're probably going to say we're going to open.
Yeah. So it's going to be about August.
Or October even. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna push it.
No. Did you
Not
hear? Did you hear in the paper the other day? A pub owner has banned under 25s because he says they are impossible to control and they do not respect social distancing. So he
sounds good.
They just banned them. It says you're not drinking here because you can't keep your social distancing.
Has he had an increase in business?
Probably lower business now. As soon as I read it, I thought you are going to have no income now.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
That's where all the income's coming from. Is all these young kids that go in there, have 10 points, go out the back, throw up, and then come back for another 5. Whereas older people like us, we'll go in there, have a few drinks, and then go home.
If you say so. If you say so.
Well, I don't have any drink.
That's definitely what happens.
Well, the only person not nodding their head is Andy, so I'm assuming that
he's too drunk. He don't want to move his head.
Yeah, I can honestly say this is the driest 3 months I've ever had in my life as an adult. I haven't hardly touched it. So,
and we've had the Hangouts back, and you've been having drinks on here.
That's the only time. Yeah, I might have. Yeah. I had to make 4 points or 3 or 4 points the other Hangout, and that was the first time in ages.
Mm-hmm.
I just ain't touched it. My missus and my stepdaughter have been drinking more than me. I'll tell you, they're the bloody pissheads in this house. In your dear.
Yeah, but they've got to use up the stock before it goes out of date.
Oh, they don't need to get out of date, mate. They just go up to bloody Asda and get it. Yeah. So yeah, it's been quite dry for me. The point is, I got a pub full of kegs of beer that I'm going to have to tip down the drain. So bloody kegs and kegs of them. They're 11 gallons. The drain. No, you wouldn't drink them now. They're out of date. But they're all going to be poured down the drain. Yeah. About 7 or 8 kegs, 11 gallons each. Oh, what a bloody criminal act.
They were selling them up here as kegs, and then people realised they didn't know how to actually get into them.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to wait till we have to and see what happens, really. I don't think things will ever go back to normal for quite a while.
No, not this year.
No, and I think you're going to see tons of businesses just close. It's going to be horrific.
I'm fairly certain we're going to have a second wave, and not that far away either.
I don't know.
There's already other countries that are starting to see the second wave. Israel's one of them. They've suddenly had a rapid increase again.
I don't know. I would have thought, couple of 3 weeks ago, they had all the protests and all the stuff, and there's not been a sort of second wave here yet, has there?
No, it's only around Leicester, isn't it, and a few other places.
Yeah.
No, and there was that meat packing factory in Wales, I think it was.
I think they had a little bit of a spike in somewhere in Scotland, I think, but that's about it, really.
There are 20 councils, 20 boroughs, or whatever you want to call them, that are showing signs of not slowing down as quick as the rest of the country.
It's a bit of a worry, isn't it? Can you trust any of it? And I'm not one for the conspiracy theories generally, but
No.
there's a chap I work with who's from Doncaster, and his council emailed him and said, please do not believe the government figures because we've recorded twice as many cases as they're declaring.
Yeah.
And it's a bit worrying when a council is actually going up against what the government is saying.
Conservative council or Labour?
I don't know, to be honest. Whatever it is in Doncaster.
Doncaster would have thought probably Labour.
I don't know. They used to be Liberal, didn't they?
Did they?
I think so. I mean, I honestly don't know. But I wouldn't trust them as far as I can throw them, the government. And he's a big chap, isn't he, Boris?
Yeah.
I think we should stop calling him Boris, though, because that feels too friendly.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, does anybody know what the weather is like in Yorkshire tomorrow, Calm Biker?
I'm on holiday, so raining.
There you go.
I'm in Lincolnshire.
It's going to be raining tomorrow.
I could be in Lincolnshire. Yeah, I could be in Lincolnshire, and it's supposed to rain there tomorrow. So
Yeah, it's not good weather anywhere in the country in this summer.
I've been sat because I work from home anyway, and obviously over the last few weeks it's been every day from home rather than 3 or 4 days a week. And I've been looking out the window at this beautiful sunshine and melting here in 35 degrees in the room. And as soon as I take a couple of weeks off, it's rained every bloody day.
Yeah.
It's not happening, is it?
No.
Not good enough.
No.
Big Bag Biker says, don't tell Carl which drain you're tipping the kegs down.
Yeah, I'll be there in a drain.
Pennywise the clown style.
all we're going to do is give him a
straws
pot
out the
belly,
nose so I can breathe.
give him a pop belly, cut his hair to 3 strands, and just paint him yellow. The Simpsons, you'll be Homer Simpson go.
I don't find that very funny at all.
That's because you haven't had enough drink yet.
you ain't drunk one of them kegs yet, have you?
Yeah, I'm quite offended by that.
You take your beer much more seriously than that.
You're offended by it.
Oh. Well, that's just confused. That's confused. I can't deal with that.
Can't you? Well, wait till you see this then.
What? No, I've moved.
No,
why
you're
am
in the
I?
same place.
I'm not. I was down there, wasn't I?
No, you weren't.
Wasn't I?
I could always.
You want to be down there?
I could always do
Okay,
this.
Is that better?
What's he doing?
Right, pot cow.
Oi.
Something wrong with these people, I tell you.
Yeah. Mind your chin. Mind your chin.
It's stuck, Andy. It's stuck.
Andy, what has he got?
In the ear, see?
Cheers.
The other thing I can tell you is that
Evening.
I'm going over to the dark side.
Oh.
Putting the tires on the bike.
No, I'm changing my camera format for the first time in 6 years.
GoPro?
I'm going to GoPro. Yeah, and I'm ditching the drift.
Don't you like it anymore? Is it playing up?
Well, I've got no stabilization in it, and I just find them too jerky. They're too jerky. And my boy said to me the other day, Aaron, he said, "Dad, I got an old GoPro with stabilization. If I set it up for you, will you use it?" I said, "Yep, I'll use it." So hopefully this weekend I might be making a vlog using a GoPro for the first time.
Very good.
So, yeah.
So Andy's going stable.
I'm going stable instead of
No,
unstable.
No,
I find that hard to believe.
No. He's not going stable. He's going pro.
I'm going pro. Yeah.
He's going pro. Go pro.
Go pro. I look like a Teletubby, I reckon.
Yeah.
How much?
Not that pro. There he is.
Oh, sorry.
That's what you want. That's what
you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might have a wind problem on the helmet. What do you think?
I
No,
think
you got your chin strap.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to be turning your head, would you?
It's not going to be a problem, Calm, because you got your chin strap.
You think I should just tie it to the chin strap?
No, you've got your chin strap dangling off your camera. Look.
I suspect it would point skyward quite often, as would my head.
But that's what super glue does with, super glue to the head.
Yeah, shoe grooves. You get shoe glue under the chin. It'll hold it there, mate.
It's quite a heavy lens, that actually. That weighs more than my helmet does. Substantially more than my helmet does.
Yeah, but what I can do for you is I've got this little thing here, which is a 1/4-20 thread, and that goes in the bottom of your tripod, and I can just stick that onto your head like that, and you can just go it on there and be fine. Just keep your head everywhere, wherever you move your head.
I got a lighter. That's a bit.
That's not a lighter; it's a camera.
Yeah. Even I know that, and I don't smoke.
Yeah.
There's some logic in there somewhere.
You can work it out. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the difference is between the two cameras anyway. So it's not a new GoPro, but it's be easy to see what happens.
Are you going for the side mount or the chin? Well, I've already got the mount for the drift on my crash arm. I don't really want to take it off because I use the old the Drift X on there just for safety. That will run for 8 hours, but the quality is atrocious. Because I think what they've done, they brought the width down of that camera. I think from 180 to 160, so it's made it more jerkier. And that's a brilliant camera if you want something just for safety. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And something that will last a good 8 hours. Because when I first got that X, I went from Ipswich to Sheffield, and Sheffield to Ipswich back, and it ran the whole way up there and the whole way back. It never run out. So that's good for that. But the quality, it's atrocious. It's just too jerky.
Yeah.
The width is too narrow. Where my other the one that I used to, well, I still use now, but the other drift I had, the Ghost, I think is 180. So it's not quite as bad, but it's still too jerky.
The Ghost, was the Ghost 160 or 170? I know the Drift HD I had was 170, and the
I'm not
Ghost S I think is 160.
Yeah, I think this new the X is narrower. You know what I mean?
Get narrower than that, you really need stabilization, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or you fix it in the edit, but that takes time and processing power from your computer to run a proper stabilization that won't look wobbly and jerky.
Quality goes down then as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody actually in the comments of one of my vlogs said, "Andy, I love watching your vlogs, but I feel seasick at the end of it." And I looked at it seriously and thought, "Nah, this ain't no good." That was the X when I first got the X. So I don't use that for vlogging at all, just for safety. That's all. I'm riding around. I don't want to make a vlog, you know.
One of the things that I've noticed with mine is when I watch others, you always seeing them whipping sideways like this because it's attached to the head, obviously. With mine, all you ever see is that.
You've got a built-in benefit there, Dave.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I look at mine, it does look like it may be stabilized or something. It ain't. It's just that my neck ain't moving. JB Model says he should have gone to Skeggy this weekend, but the doctors won't let him.
All right.
And Jim says, Waterproof's tomorrow then. Nice ride from there to Halifax.
Clacton.
Clacton. That's it.
Clacton, aye.
It's quite a way.
I've been to Clacton once. I got called out to a network issue, and I said to them before I set off, "Have you got all your cables plugged in?" They went, "Yes, we've got all the cables plugged in." So I drove to Clacton, which I think was about 5.5 hours, and I got there. Yeah, got there, plugged the network cable back in, and left. And I was unimpressed. I think.
I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was about 11 or 12 hour day just to go and plug a network cable in.
Yes, some people are just shouldn't be allowed to
unplug network cables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For want of a better word. Or sentence.
Yes, I was going to insert the cable somewhere else, but I plugged it into the back of your PC. See it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell you what, that must have cost them a lot of bloody money for one bloke to go all that way and back again for a cable.
I hope so. I really hope so.
I assume you got paid just your normal wage.
Yeah, yeah. I got to drive the boss's car though, so that was a laugh.
Yeah, I hate driving other people's cars because for some reason they just will not do less than 120.
I managed to crash the boss's car twice in 2 days. Not on that particular trip, but I remember the first day. It was a much wider car than I was used to. I had a little Nissan Micra, and he had an S-Class Mercedes. Turns out, very expensive doors. And as I was pulling out of a parking space, I was about 19 or something. As I was pulling out of the parking space and then coming back to straighten it up on a very narrow road, and I was behind a Range Rover with the wide plates on the sills, almost like a step. Well, I ran that right down the passenger side door. Very expensive fix. But it turned out it wasn't a big deal because the following day I span it in the rain on a motorway and crashed into the central reservation. But sat on the M181 in torrential rain, pointing the wrong way in the fast lane, certainly makes you think about your life and how it might nearly be over.
Did he let you drive his next car then?
He did actually. He wasn't very bright.
Clever boy.
He could have been.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And,
So apart from that, I've got nothing to report really. I've sort of been work, nothing else.
Yeah, I've been at work this week as well. Luckily, I'm off tomorrow, which is why I can host tonight. But yeah, it was a shock after the first day because I've been 3 months, where I'm only allowed out once a day to do an hour's walking or exercise or whatever, and then you're back in the house, and there's only so much you can do standing up, so you end up sitting down a lot of the time. And I get to work on Monday and 8 hours standing straight, and you're going, "Oh my word, what's wrong with my legs? Why are they aching? I'm used to doing this. I've been doing this for years. Why are they aching?" They're all right now, but yeah, 8 hours. Well, apart from the dinner break, and the morning break, you're up 8 hours standing on them, and you're thinking they shouldn't be aching like this. But yeah, it's good to be back at work. I've always wanted to work, always anxious to get back at work. But as I'm getting older, I'm thinking, can't wait till I'm no longer at work.
I should have actually officially retired in September, but I can't now, so I've got to do another year. So
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I only had about just under 2 months on the normal rules,
Hmm.
but having another year stuck on top, 66 instead of 65, so I got another year now. So I thought, well, after all these years, you should be able to retire at 65, but not this lot.
Yeah.
I bet they
Yeah.
don't. I don't reckon they retire, do they? Because they got such good pensions, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
Did you hear what Carm said earlier?
What's that?
They're thinking about changing it to 75.
Bloody hell, man! That's crazy. They shouldn't let it happen. They should do something about it. And say
No,
no,
night, Jim.
that's enough.
Safe ride tomorrow, Jim. Right, gonna set off at 5:30 in the morning. Speak to our good night, Jim. Safe
Good night,
riding.
Jim boy.
Don't drop a text when you get there, Jim. That's all right. See you tomorrow. See you, mate. Night, Jim. Thanks, Stitch. I'll let you know when I arrive. Be safe. Yeah,
Well, chaps,
take
I'm
it
gonna
easy tomorrow.
I'm gonna have to jump off this one as well. But
Yeah.
it's been fun. Hopefully, I'll see you again next week.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to leave in a minute.
I'll say
ya.
goodbye.
Thanks
See
for
you later,
coming.
mate. See you later. Catch up with
Cheers,
you
mate.
later, mate.
Bye now.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off in a minute because I'm not really sure what the hell's going on. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I've been up since 5:30, so I think we'll can you stay on for 15 minutes or
yeah, I'll stay on 15 minutes.
okay?
mate.
So
Yeah.
12 o'clock we'll end it because I've been up since 5 myself, so it's getting tired.
Well, what's been happening to me? I've been getting up sort of 5:30 in the morning, and then I'm going out, and then I'm doing 2 hours drive to work, and then 12 hours and 2 hours back. That's nuts. You know what I mean? Absolutely
Yeah.
nuts. So, but I'm not sure about tomorrow. I don't think I will be going tomorrow because I think it's raining, and I'm with what they call the white liners, putting
Yeah.
white lines down. So
Yeah.
can't do that if it rains. That's impossible. So,
Yeah, because the white lines get washed away.
Well, it just doesn't stick.
yeah, they don't stick. They don't stick.
Yeah.
So if you
They
think
don't
about
stick.
it, they'll put the white lines down, and they'll just get 3 months of wear out of it instead of 6 overnight.
No, just
because
wait.
it hasn't stuck anywhere.
They just don't stick. If that's
Yeah.
wet, it doesn't stick at all.
Of course not.
That will just come up in like a big line. Will just come up in a big line.
Yeah.
So,
Just,
yeah.
'cause the white line stuff is actually it's not just a paint, is it? It's like it's got this hard chemical stuff in it that makes it actually harder than normal paint. But it's actually got to sink on in and actually grip onto the actual tarmac. If you've got a layer of water or grease or oil or something else on it, it won't stick to it, and it just falls off as a big lump.
No.
Yep.
And that can't be like a lot of dirt or grit under it either. So sometimes if the road is dirty or being chipped, they put one of these sweepers over it before we go on it. I don't do the white lines, by the way. Nothing to do with me. I just protect the guys who are doing the white lines or cat's eyes. I protect them. So that's my job, traffic management. But yeah, so and also they can't tarmac when it rains either. The tarmac won't stick to the new tarmac won't stick to the old road, if you know what I mean. So that's out the window. So the only thing they can do when it's raining is taking studs out, but then that becomes a miserable life because everybody's soaking wet.
Yeah.
So, and they can't put the new studs in because they got to put tarmac down, and it's miserable.
Yeah, so they only get 50% of the year that they can do anything with.
Yeah. It's a very, very expensive exercise. Let me tell you that. Very. Yeah, it costs
especially with the
fortune.
health and safety nowadays.
Oh God,
Yeah.
yeah. If you've got 4 guys white lining, there's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 of us protecting them, so it's 8 guys just doing one job. 8 of us. Yeah.
Yeah, but it has
No.
to be because there's some real idiots out there that just don't care how badly they drive next to people that are trying to keep them safe.
You'll be surprised how many times, not every day, but some days, that guys like me will get shouted at or swore at or called a CUNT and stuff like that by motorists all the time. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll swear under my breath when I see roadworks. I'll go, "Fucking hell!" But I mean, the guys on there, if they say something and whatever, I'm polite to them.
Yeah.
It
was only about 3 weeks ago. We were at the other side of Norwich, and my boy had a line of cars stopped on a stop-go board, and this van came flying down the side and tried to jump everybody. So my boy put his board out to stop him, and that touched the side of his car or his wagon, and he had his son in there, a little boy of about 7, sitting next to him. He jumped out and tried to beat the crap out of my son. That's what we have to put up with sometimes. Yeah,
it's wrong though, isn't it? It's wrong.
Yeah.
He's wrong.
So I said to myself, that's a bloody good example to show in front of your bloody son, isn't it? Trying to beat people up on the side of the road.
Yeah.
The only thing he didn't realise that if he had actually landed one on the boy, my boy, honestly, truthfully, would have killed him. You know what I mean? He would have killed him. He didn't know how lucky he was to get away with that. Yeah. Yeah. Because he's a bit of a scrapper.
I was shouting today because I was just tired. I wanted to get home. I left work, and there was this yellow big 7.5 tonner. Just drives past me first. Let him out, because I'm like that. And yeah, you go and whatever. And I pulled up behind him and started following him, and he's doing 20 miles an hour for 5.5 miles.
Yeah. Oh.
Every turning I wanted to go down, he turned.
Yeah. That's Sod's law, isn't it?
Yeah. Yesterday, every set of lights that I went through went green.
Oh, right.
Every single one. I flew home almost as fast as what I do when I get on the bike. It took me no time at all. Today, it took me 10 more minutes. Every set of lights went red, and this boxed van was in front of me doing 20 miles an hour everywhere. Couldn't get away from the box van. And I was just tired. Just get out of the way. But it's not his fault. He's got to take the van to wherever he's taking it to. I just wish he would do 30.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be bad if it.
You don't know what he's got in the back, do you? If you have something that might fall over or something, but that is frustrating. We get it all the time. We want to get somewhere. There's some prat doing 40 and a 50 or 40 and a 60. Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I mean, even though I'm fuming at him and I'm shouting at him, I'm still safe distance away from him, not pushing him, not doing anything bad because, I always drive like I'm respecting everybody around there. I'm just shouting in my... I suppose it didn't help that I was listening to AC/DC. I understand the frustration of roadworks, but no point being Argo at the workers. Aggro, yeah.
Aggro.
Mm-hmm. They're just doing their job, not their fault. Of course it is. And they're trying to make our life easier by repairing whatever road is damaged or putting new road markings down, because otherwise we're not going to be able to know who's in the right and who's in the wrong when we have a crash.
I'll tell you what, though. What I will tell you is that the majority of road users, right, that I've encountered are very, very nice.
Yeah.
You get so many waves from so many people that's nice to see. So the majority are really, really good, but you just get a very small handful of arseholes.
Yeah.
You get used to it anyway. If they call you a CNUT when they go past, you just call them a prat back, and that's it, really.
It's the same as what we talk about with bikers. They said the majority of bikers are nice, law-abiding, friendly people that you'd really want to get to know.
Yeah.
And there's always that one or two that do something stupid that bring it down for everybody else. And there's no difference whether you're riding a bike or driving a car or a yellow box van. No difference at all.
No, that's true. I had a funny one with a bike a couple of weeks ago. I had about 8 or 9 cars stopped, and he must have come down the road to see him stopped, and he couldn't see me, so he went flying down the side to get past them. Then he flew past me because he got a sign of the stoplight to stop, and he stopped like that before he got to the site, looked round at me and went, "Sorry, mate." I went, "You're a biker. Just stay there till I tell you." So he did stop. He didn't try and go right through quick, but yeah. So he did rectify his mistake of being a bit impatient on a motorcycle.
He says, a Big Bad Biker Bear says, all the roadworks I go through, nobody's working.
Yeah,
that's true.
Pretty annoying.
That's annoying. It is annoying. Yeah.
Especially when we got them the actual workplace traffic lights that take forever to change.
Yeah,
there's nothing worse than seeing a set of traffic lights, isn't there? And you get there, and then you look where the work is, and there's nothing at all. And you think, what the hell is this all about? Even I get frustrated with that.
Yeah. Well, if you look closely, you'll probably find the reason why they're not the reason why they're not working, but the reason why the traffic lights are up while they're not working is because there's a whacking great big hole in the road. And they don't want anybody to go down it.
Yeah, sometimes it's not even that. It's actually because all the rest of the barriers and everything are gone. And they still left the traffic lights up there because it's a different set of crew that come and take the traffic lights down.
Correct.
And they haven't actually been there. They come and do it 3 days later.
That is absolutely correct.
Yeah. There was one set of roadworks. I'm going back a couple of years now. There's one set of roadworks on my way to work. And it's the only way that I go to work. And at the time, I didn't really know any other way. And I'm sure people have been talking or phoning the people because 2 days on the trot, I drive through these roadworks without any problems at all because there's nothing there. It's just a section of road that is blocked off, so you can't go through right at the set of traffic lights. And all it is cones across the road. And I'd gone through and I'd seen cars move the cones and drive through. I was coming back from work and there was a man standing in front of the cones, just standing there, all in his proper PPE things with his tag on and everything. And all I did was I rode straight up to him, switched off the bike, got off the bike and walked through. And as I was walking through, he says, "Are you walking?" "That's okay." And I got to the other end of the cones, got back on the bike, started it up and drove off. I acted as a pedestrian, and there's nothing he could do with it because he's not stopping pedestrians, only vehicles, motor vehicles.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I thank you all for coming. I'm going to shut it down now because I'm tired. I know Suffolk Andy's tired, and Carl the Dingbat, he's probably got an angry warden trying to get him off now. Anyway. So, thank you for coming, everybody, and for Calm Biker and everybody else that came on today, which was Calm Biker.
and him.
Everybody that's been chatting on the chat today, thank you all for coming, as you always do every time. A couple of guys repaired a pothole outside my house. Was raining rather heavy down whilst we were going the pepper to work, then blew out and got smacked. Night, guys, and night, JB. Thank
Night,
you
mate.
all for coming. I hope to see you next week. Hopefully, finally, it's going to be Weggy's
Oh,
Hangout.
Weggy.
Yeah. Or it's going to be Dubby's. One of the two. But I'm going to have to...
Where was Dobby tonight then?
He's gone out tonight. He's probably at a pub somewhere.
Okay.
No.
Not surprised.
Yeah, he's going out to... Moy says, night, lads. Ride safe. Have a great week. Ride safe. And we'll catch you all on the next one.
Same with you, mate.
Night, boys.
Yeah.
And night, big bad bike bears. Thanks, Dave, Carr, Andy. Thank you very much for coming and always making it fun here. So we never got nobody to talk to. See you all next time. Ta-da.
Bye.
Night all.